Let's see. And we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blurred Alert, a place where the black and nerd experiences intersect. I'm Scotty Quippen, but my friends call me Quip. And along with me on this fantastic voyage that we are just starting, episode one, we've got Brandon Gash and Sebastian Gomez of Sebastian Gomez Toys. How are y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Thanks a lot. Celebrate my birthday. That's always nice. Another one down in the
Absolutely.
bucket.
That is
So,
exciting. Hold on. I got the drop. It's his birthday.
oh,
Yay. Can you hear it? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Oh, well, happy
Really
birthday.
important. Nice.
So Jay was kind enough to actually, before I even get into that, Sebastian, how are you doing? Would you like to tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Yes, Sebastian Gomez. I'm excited to be with you guys. I was actually gonna make a joke because it's a great time to be alive where you can be changing diapers half an hour before this and then get to talk to my buddies about things that I love, like Stranger Things, in front of all the people that we love. So I'm good, man. I'm just enjoying this. I'm drinking some Gatorade just to stay hydrated.
It
Yeah.
goes with the shirt, Stranger Things too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Is
good.
that in
That's
the
good.
glass bottle? Is it the glass bottle exclusive or what?
Yeah, it's back there, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know for how long that stuff inside stays good, but we'll go for a couple of years.
We'll go like clear Pepsi, like over the year. Just maybe
It
crack it
might, it
open.
might be good. It's not carbonated, so it could hold
Yeah.
for quite
We'll,
some time,
we'll
actually.
make it an
Yep.
experiment. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm excited.
Cool,
Great.
cool. Fantastic. Well, again, want to give a quick shout out to Jay Glatfelter, the Geek Dad, who was so gracious as to allow us to use Geek Dad Life 2 to kind of kick this off. This was a kind of the brainchild where we were all kind of talking about working on different projects together. And it just kind of coalesced, right? So Brandon
Mhm.
reached out to me. Seb and I have been talking for a while about working together on something. And so this just seemed like a great opportunity to get a podcast going. So even though we are kicking off this podcast with a live stream for funsies, again, to celebrate Brandon's birthday, I also appreciate kind of that press too, because sometimes you talk like, yeah, we're gonna do something eventually, and Brandon was like, nope, it's my birthday, we're doing it. So
Yeah. Gotta kick it in
uh,
high gear, man.
absolutely. But one of the things that we learned as we were getting things going, because it's only been about a week or two of planning, is that we actually need 50 subs in order to go live on the Blurred Alert channel. So for those of you who would like to support, you could swing on over to youtube.com/at Blurred Alert. Here, I'm dropping it in the chat. You can go over there and subscribe. That way, we can kind of get up the followers over there. We're going to do a little bit more of a social media push to try and get some backers. And then over there is where we can drop clips. We can drop the visual components of the podcast that we're developing. And then we can occasionally live stream. We're talking about maybe doing monthly, not a regular live stream thing, but we'll figure it out as we go, right?
Yeah. That's how it works.
Absolutely. Okay,
Okay, can
cool.
I talk about how this origin story for this
Yeah.
podcast began? Because you and me, we were
Mhm.
talking, I think it was after we did Brick Something's podcast. I reached out to you, and we both have like a joined hatred for Lucas's hair. It's season five, like a joined hate, like overall, we just weren't satisfied. We love the season, like it's a
Yeah,
decent, but the
absolutely.
hair, the wig ain't wigging, man. The wig ain't
Yeah,
wigging
it's
so bad.
it's rough, and we're definitely gonna get into that
Okay,
because I've
all
actually
right. I'm
got
jumping the gun. I'm jumping the
no, no,
gun.
no, no, no. You're good, but I mean that was part of it, right? It was
Yeah,
part of it was just hey, let's chop it up, and I was thinking, well, if we want any sort of like controversial topic, because I was coming right off of watching the season, I was like Lucas's hairline, like what is going on there?
it's bad.
But
Real bad.
as I've sat with it, as I've watched it more. Anyways, we'll get into that. We'll get into what my current opinion of his hair is because
Okay,
there is a little more perspective to be shared.
it's changed,
Um,
maybe. Yeah,
just a touch, maybe a little bit, but I
a
know
hair.
big picture, a hair. I see what you did there. Um, But what we plan to do is we are going to be talking about Stranger Things. So I do want to say spoiler alert at the very beginning of this. I'm actually looking to see if there can be any sort of banners or tickers for. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can show this.
Nice.
Spoiler alert, everybody. We are going to be talking about things that took place in part 5 of Stranger Things. So, if you haven't been able to watch, sorry, not part 5, season 5, parts 1 and 2.
Oh, you're
Um,
keeping it. Okay, you're doing both volumes.
yeah, we're doing both
Mhm.
volumes. We're talking, and we're even talking about, we're talking about just Stranger Things as a whole, and again, specifically the characterization of Lucas Sinclair, of Erica Sinclair, the Sinclair parents, which I am curious if either of you actually know the parents' names. They have names, or if anybody in
Yeah.
the chat knows their names, but we'll definitely get there. But before we get there, I want to jump into the live chat to thank those of you who are spending your time with us in the bridge. It's kind of like you're in the upside down between Christmas and New Year's, where it's this
Mhm.
weird limbo
Yeah.
of what are we doing? Do we wear real pants? Are we wearing like what are we doing?
Do we wear real pants?
We're in the sweatpants zone right
Yeah,
now of
sweaters.
those of us who don't
Sweaters.
have to go to work. Yeah. So with that, let me see. Who do we got in the chat? And I can pull down the spoiler alert after I put it up there. And I'll probably bring it up a couple times too, just to let people know, like, hey, we are talking different things. But yeah, let's see who we have in the chat. We have some regulars who are already showing some love and support. We got Cobweb, we got Derek J. Uva, we got Dora Laxon, we've got Daytherian. Who else do we got? We got Andrew of Gady's Toys, Video Power Gaming. Scrolling up, seeing who else is here. And now I saw we
Right.
got
Yeah.
Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess. We've got the Chamba who
That's
has
not.
subbed. Thanks for showing up and showing out, brother. We got Nick Dillinger. I think I said Cobweb. Johnny Cock. Actually, you got a Video Power Gaming. We'll have to talk to Jay about how to
Oh,
get you this
sweet.
$5. You got a happy birthday,
Damn.
Brandon.
That's
So
nice.
that's
I can put that in my
fantastic.
pocket. That's awesome.
Folks giving you lots of happy birthday
Thank you
wishes. We've
guys.
got Mint with Card, Technicolor, and a couple of other friends are going to drop by. Oh, we got Tony Derbs, 8690, Studio Henge, Joey Curel. I think there we go. Yeah, absolutely. And as
Awesome.
Dorlaxon said, the blurred is the word. Okay,
Um,
so diving into this, anybody who's still listening should be familiar with Stranger Things, right? Especially if we're saying spoiler alert, or maybe they're interested in just hearing our takes on it from our unique perspectives.
mhm.
So, as Brandon mentioned, we started talking a little bit about Lucas's hairline, but also streaming on Toying Around. And I feel like I kind of knew this, but I didn't realize how big of a fan, Sebastian, you were of Stranger Things,
Mhm.
that you were really all about it, like all the posters and everything. So that was just another beautiful first topic. Let's bring in Sebastian and his perspectives. He's going to be a nerd who also was paying very close attention to different things. And so it's good here to just come, share perspectives, and chop it up a little bit. So,
Exactly.
Sebastian, I'm going to give you the inaugural. I'm going to let you give us just how you feel about all of Stranger Things so far. Like, where do you feel like we are with season 5?
All of Stranger Things or just season 5?
Hmm. Let's just say straight. Let's just say season 5 then. That's the more pertinent. That's the more.
So
Yeah.
season 5, I feel like I mentioned to my wife before the season started that it's been such a while
Hmm.
that it took for this to film. And like like you mentioned, I'm a super fan, so I'm in all the socials. I follow the actors on their own socials, so they're like, we all know they're people, right? They do their own thing. So I was afraid that I was gonna lose that connection to Stranger Things as a show, and I was gonna see them as actors acting.
Okay.
So I was afraid of that. That I got past that within like the first 10 minutes of the first episode of season 5. So that is good. Uh, I've been pretty happy with it. Overall, I feel like I loved episode one, episode 1.5, going into 2. I feel like they've had to change the formula a little bit because I mean, well, not. I'm not gonna assume everyone knows, but in my brain, Stranger Things has a formula. Every season starts, everything is nice.
Mhm.
Then we figure out what the problem may be, figure out the solution, and then go full head into it until the climax happens. There's so much going on in this season that the formula has had to jump a little bit between different spots. So episode 3, I felt like there was a little bit of a lull there where they were just kind of going through stuff, and I was like, okay, you're losing me a little bit. Episode 4, spoiler alert, was where the big thing happened with Will,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the sorcerer, and that obviously brought me right back in because it's just like, okay, you're losing me a little bit, and then you did this
Mhm.
badass thing where this dude just like snaps the bones of Demogorgons. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I did watch. That was volume 1.
Okay.
I did watch volume 2, but maybe we can. Do you want to separate it by volume so we can get everyone's perspectives on the first volume?
Yeah, we could separate it by volume. So
Sure, yeah.
Brandon, birthday boy, what were you thinking
You know
about
what?
Stranger Things 5 Part 1?
5 part 1
Mm-hmm.
started fine with me, but that's when I start messaging you about this crawl situation
Mm-hmm.
and how we're kind of leaving Lucas and everybody else. For Lucas, it always bothers me because I grew up with very supportive parents and
Mm-hmm.
grandparents, and being out past the street lights being on is like, it's a no-no, man. I just want to know what's going on
Absolutely.
with the parents. I always have this question every
Mm-hmm.
season. He's riding bikes into the wilderness. He's out there. I want to know what's going on, and that's kind of how we sparked into starting this pod. But enough with that on the side. It started really, really strong. I loved how it was getting into, Will's development, especially toward that cliffhanger end
Mm-hmm.
and leading into the second part. There are questions, that I still want answered. They kind of made me ask more questions now that we're into chapter 2 of all this stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious as hell to see how they stick the landing. I hope they
Yeah.
do. Because I'm also like you. I'm not a super fan like you, Sebastian, but I loved the show from the jump, and I just hope that they just end this well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's important.
And so Video Power Gaming is saying, things were lax in the 80s. They
Things were
were lax in the 80s,
maybe,
but, and
but
this is where we get into the blurred alert, like the blurred perspective of
should we do an air horn for a blurred alert?
of
Something like that.
yes, while we have shared experiences, the unique experience of Luke being in that town in the Midwest, being a minority in the town in the Midwest, being one of the only black families, and then you also have to consider early on in Stranger Things. Okay, you can kind of say, well, they're over at each other's houses, but there are a couple things that happen leading up to season 5 that make season 5 particularly um, a little distracting, at least from me and from Brandon's perspectives, right? From a blurred's eye view of okay,
Yeah.
so there are certain things that we've seen happen over the course of the show, right? So one, if we go all the way back to season 1, all of the Sinclairs were at Michael's funeral, or not Michael's funeral, Will's funeral.
Well, yeah.
Misspoke. All of them were at Will's funeral that they had for that fake body, and so, oops, wrong kid, right? It's actually not Will. Will's still alive. Okay, interesting. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they still can't go and hang out. If anything, they went through the trauma and they want their son to be able to have a little, freedom to hang out with them. But then you follow up with, let me see. So then you have season 2 is really where we see the parents. I know we saw Sue, that is Lucas's and Erica's mom. Um,
Mhm.
they like she's taking pictures. You kind of get the sibling dynamic where she's calling him a nerd with Ghostbusters and everything. But really, I guess not to ramble too much, in season 4, the Sinclair family is at the town hall. They are there at the town hall in season 4 where is it Jason? Yeah, Jason actually drums up a lynch mob to go hunting the Hellfire Club. And they specifically, Lucas's mom is expressing concern because she knows that Lucas hangs out with Justin and with Mike and that they're in Hellfire Club with Eddie Munson.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are they already have they already experienced that, but then on the heels of that, you see the police are actually questioning Lucas and Dustin and a couple members of the Hellfire Club with respect to, do you know Eddie Munson? They lie about how much they know him. Erica calls them out on lying about how much they know him. So it's like you have a son who's being questioned by the police in the Midwest. There's a
Dude.
lynch mob that's after that son's group of friends. Eddie Munson not only dies, but is still blamed by a lot of people in the town for what happened. And in season 5, there's now a military occupation of Hawkins. And you're telling me that the Sinclair family went from Erica having to constantly lie to cover for her brother and actually bribing him, hey, this is how much it's going to cost you, to both of them being out after the lights came on during crawls, no idea where they are. I've heard certain theories that say, what was it? Certain theories that put out there that, well, maybe Joyce Byers is telling them that they're staying over at the Byers house. And I don't
Oh
know
no,
about
no,
Yeah,
you.
no.
yeah. Wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen with my folks.
Well,
Wouldn't
she
Yeah.
happen.
also wouldn't. She also wouldn't lie to parents, right? That's not no.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's really just the whole dynamic of all the parents, really, which is some of the conversation. Like, where's
Yeah.
Dustin's mom? They've had multiple near-death experiences. There are all sorts of crazy things happening. There's some sort of weird cover-up where all there is metal plates over these fissures that are in the ground that go to the upside down. So it's like, where are the other parents? The Wheelers are finally getting involved, maybe a little more involved than they originally anticipated, but the Wheelers understand what's going on. And I'm sure I would like to see that conversation between Mrs. Wheeler and Joyce for why didn't you let me know all these things were going on? Right? That'll be interesting if they even explore that.
Yeah.
But then also, I'm interested to see if they do bring in the Sinclairs. I don't know that they will. I know one of the things, so I know I kind of zoomed out and went all the way back to the beginning of Stranger Things, but specifically for season 5, one of the things that I didn't like, so big spoiler alert for part 1, that didn't sit well with me, was Erica attacking her friend with the syringe, going all Miss Cratchit and like, hey, you should have ate your pie, right? And I
Mhm.
get that they've presented Erica up until then as a strong, competent, confident young black girl. But she's also very smart. She's also very diplomatic in understanding how to bargain, how to leverage different scenarios. And for her to go into that extreme, knowing that they see her face, they know her voice, right? Even if the parents wake up after eating the pies, their daughter is still going to say, she attacked me with a syringe. And then there's
Yeah.
even still the question that people are asking is, where are Derek's parents right now? Are they still in the barn, tied up? Are they like at the hospital for observation? Not knowing what's going on. But it is kind of crazy. The SNL Sinclair skit. There is,
Yes. Yes. That's classic.
yeah, yeah.
With
There's
yeah.
absolutely a skit that covers that. I don't know if we can play that, but
Copyright reasons. Yeah.
yeah.
But to that point,
Hmm.
it's kind of the same. Like they came in to the scene snapping on Lucas, like, boy, you better get out of this group. Like that would have been my parents. I
Yeah.
would have been grounded. Me flying away with my friends, doing all these Scooby Doo adventures, like that would have came to a dead halt season
Hmm.
1.
Yeah.
Like after the funeral, after everything, it's like, no, no, oh, you're hanging out with
It would
who?
have been a real
Bill?
short
No,
show,
no,
right?
it's not gonna happen. Like you
Yeah.
just should get me all the way out. There's no season 5 for me playing Lucas at all.
Yeah.
So like growing up, I actually grew up in the Midwest, rode bikes with my friends, did all this stuff. but there was a curfew. We didn't get into too crazy of adventures, kind of maybe, what
Mhm.
I could say on camera. But if spoiler alert, if I at the end of part 1 of season 5 had a big old gash across my chest,
Ooh, that's
wounded by
another
a
big one. Yeah.
demigorgon, and I came home and I'm like, my mom's gonna know that. Like she's gonna
Mhm.
be up listening, like, hey, why are you running the washing machine? Oh, I don't know. Trying to wash my bloody shirt or put it in the gut. My mom is on me and my dad is on me. Like they're
Mhm.
not absent parents. I just feel we see a lot of the Wheelers, we see a lot of
Mhm.
Joyce, see a lot of the other adults around, but we just never see the Sinclairs. And even if we don't see them, maybe you introduce a granddad or a cousin, like some relatives around that town,
Mhm.
unless they're just like transplants for real. Just you're the only people in this town. Is that it? But for me, like fan casting, if they did have another Sinclair, I would like it to be a granddad and played by Mr. Winslow. I mean, that's just me.
I think one thing that you mentioned when we talked about this earlier, Quip, is that we're
Mhm.
not sure of the timeline of how long this takes to happen. Like all
Yeah.
these things that are happening in the season, we don't really
Mhm.
know if it's one night, 1 week, what it is. So maybe if you mentioned the gash on the chest, I'm like, maybe dude hasn't been home, but how long is that, right? If it's not home for
Yeah,
3 days, that's also terrible.
Well, I
that's a long
mean,
time.
it has to have been.
Like,
Well, we know it's at least over the course of, well, if we're talking about from the events in season 5, part 1, where it was like the first night that they went on the crawl and
right.
Will getting the power to where we end part 2, I think it's been a little over 24 hours
Okay.
from the perspective of Erica being with them, then going with Murray at 5 in the morning to go
More.
get the teacher. And it's like, well, one, I do have the question. I guess if they've been doing crawls enough, because Erica was a little upset that they went on a crawl like without her. So we're talking like over the course of 1 or 2 days. But I think from the moment that part 1 ended to the moment that part 2 ended, that's basically like a day, because like the sun's gone down. They did the thing with Frankenstein, which was pretty cool about like jacking
Yeah,
back
that was
in and
that
everything.
was awesome.
Um, I just it's Erica like roaming around with Murray to like go get um to go get the teacher who then came up with the telemetry devices in order to try and like help Dustin. Like that was a cool part. It was really awesome that they brought in the teacher. I just thought it was a weird decision to have Erica and Murray be like that odd coupling to go
You
get
guys,
him.
do you guys think that Erica has kind of taken the place of younger Dustin? Because Dustin is kind of going through his own thing, so Erica is still the link, like the techie kind of nerdy link between them and high school.
I think that's
That's a
a
good point.
pretty good
Yeah.
observation. Probably to some degree, I
I
think
feel
that's
like that's
true.
why they're pushing. I feel like that's why they're pushing those connections, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't know which season it was, but when they were trying to do the bath for Elle and they needed all that salt and all that stuff, they called the professor at whatever time, and he was watching a movie with his girlfriend or something. He's talking
Yeah,
about like how they do special effects, which Brandon
Mm,
loves, by the way. You love special
I
effects.
do. I love special effects.
absolutely.
Yes.
So this kind of crazy stuff has been happening for a minute. So I wonder if they're trying to do that with Erica. I do agree that the syringe thing was pretty strong, and it almost feels like they got into the I don't care anymore because the world is about to end. So like there is no tomorrow. So I'm just gonna like go crazy. I mean, to talk about maybe part 2,
Hmm.
these people are mauling down army guys. Even I mean,
Oh
dude,
yeah.
I mean one thing is like
Hmm.
Hobbs is basically Rambo at this point, which okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
Mhm.
But why am I blanking? Nancy's also taking dudes out, like straight up taking dudes out with a
yeah.
rifle. So I'm
Walk
like,
them down
all
the wall.
right.
Yeah.
So stuff has
She was.
escalated like tenfold. So yeah, I mean it's choices, right? They gotta try and
It
build up, I
is.
guess, the yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they do, and I mean, I feel like the plot is already suffering from a lot of different storylines, a lot of different characters to wrap up. So objectively, I do understand that there's only so much time in every episode, and there's only so much time left, even with the finale episode that we have left, for them to really wrap things up. But things that they could have done a little differently. So I know one of the things that, oh, this is what I was going to pull up. Hold on. I'll share my screen so that this is an image. I want to say, which season is this from? This might be
Brian
from
Brink
season
has also an
4.
interesting comment.
Yeah. Say that again. Oh, Brian Brink. Yeah. He said, interestingly, I didn't see much of my BLERD friends' parents unless I went over to play at their house. Their parents kind of kept it themselves. Hadn't really thought about it before. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
And that's why we're doing this, to get
yeah.
people thinking about things.
Yeah. Just it's just a different way of looking at things, different perspective, right?
I guess for
Um,
my friends, yeah, they would have to come to my side of town to see my parents.
mhm.
Just living their life or stuff like that. But I mean, my parents were in my life. That's what bothers me about Lucas. It's like if I was running and,
Mhm.
and literally gunning in
Yeah.
that town, they're gonna know about it. And they're
Well,
gonna
so
be like, stop that
Lucas, I
shit.
think Lucas is still the only one that hasn't. He's still using the wrist rocket, right?
Mm.
Didn't he make like a gigantic wrist rocket like in the last episode?
I
I
Dude.
think he
think I
did. Like as
noticed
far as when they were arming up, yeah, like
when they were
Lucas,
prepping. Yeah,
and
so I
there
think
is some
so.
sensitivity there where Lucas
Yeah,
isn't just grabbing the strap, right? He's
right.
not the one who. There is a little bit of, well, there's a reason why Nancy can just carry
Yeah,
carry a gat
shotgun.
with her everywhere, and it's like, yeah, that is a little different.
Nancy's been shooting things for a minute now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, absolutely. I know.
She's
Hold
got
on, let me.
bodies on her, man. She better be
Oh yeah,
going to
She
church or
does, which
something.
is wild to
Damn.
think about. That it's like, nah, she's straight up murking like military dudes at this point.
and then you
And it's not
start,
just firing at
yeah, like little insect
Demogorgons or
loads.
Demodogs
Yeah,
or
nothing.
yeah.
I
That's
try
that's
to,
real crazy.
I wonder, I try to think how many connections the Duffers try to make between their characters and characters that they've already seen before, right? So
Hmm.
like parallels, we talked about, there being like Terminator parallels between some characters in some seasons. What was it? Season 3 was that the
Hmm.
obvious one with
Mm.
the
That
carnival
Russian
where
guy, the big dude.
yeah, that took out
Absolutely, yeah.
the guy with the slushy. I forget his name, but everyone loved him.
Oh shit, I
Um,
forgot his name.
Yuri?
Damn.
no,
Was it
I don't
Yuri?
know.
I don't
The guy with
know.
the
I think it's
glasses.
Yuri. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
but I wonder
Mm.
if there is a connection between like a badass, highly, you know, I guess that shoots a lot of people
Well,
enough
have
from
you
an 80s
seen
movie, you know?
Hmm.
If there's
you
a
ever seen the movie Red Dawn? It's like it gives me kind of Red Dawn vibes a little bit. But
ah,
there's like a actual thing going on. It's like with this, yeah, we got the military, the Demogorgons, Vecna, and everybody else, and it's like, but we're these kids have bodies, dude. Like they're gonna go to sleep if they even go to sleep, sweating, PTSD in the middle of the
oh
night.
yeah,
Like
100%.
Yeah.
it's not gonna end well.
People are gonna need some therapy, but it's the 80s, so I don't
Yeah.
know if you know.
Oh no, no,
Therapy's
no, no, no
We just
therapy in
yeah.
we just
the
vibe through it.
80s.
We just vibe.
No,
Yeah. So
no.
one of the things that did come up as we're talking about Lucas and the interesting choice in storytelling to not have him use a gun, right? Is when we first started, if you do go all the way back to season 1, Lucas was the one who had more of the militaristic, like kind of get up, the camo. He had all sorts of equipment that his dad used in Nam, right?
Okay,
And
yeah.
so his dad being a vet and probably understanding a little more about the military complex. Now Hopper is also a Vietnam vet,
Mhm.
but that kind of being a component where it's like, well, could he have helped strategize, help them come up with different things, or would he have helped strategize, right? Would he have just kind of said, nope, we don't need to do this. In fact, we need to pack it up and move, as you kind of said, Brandon. Now, part of
Mhm.
the reason why I pulled up this picture of Charles Sinclair.
Charles Sinclair.
Charles Sinclair is, and before I get into it again, happy birthday, Brandon from Johnny
Thank you.
Nostalgia. Hey,
Hey,
Thank you so
um,
much.
yeah. So part of why I brought this up, and part of why I feel even a little differently about Lucas's hairline, is
The
because
mustache.
that's a
it
strong
could
mustache,
be
dude.
Oh,
hereditary. If
okay.
you're looking
You
here
know what?
at the
Damn,
father's hair,
that's a
it's like,
thick.
that is almost like, it's almost like they took it off the dad's head and
And
put it
maybe,
on
yeah.
Lucas's head.
Damn.
It's got a little bit of the boxiness. It's not the straight up fro. Lucas the entire time. I think part of the response to Lucas's hairline, which let me see if I can pull up an
Yeah.
image here and
Didn't
stop
they
sharing it.
say
Yeah.
like because he's depressed about Max,
Mhm.
that's why it's kind of out of control for season 5? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, there's some of that where, and even you and I had some conversation about how, yeah, but if you're not really caring, because he's still shaving, it's
Mhm.
not like he's like unkempt,
Yeah.
it's not like he's not changing his clothes
It's flat.
or, grooming. Like it's still really flat up top.
Yeah.
And so it's like as that grows out, certain parts of your hair grow at different lengths, grow at different speeds. Why wouldn't they have just cut it low, right? So
Mhm.
stepping back from the he should have had a fresh lineup, he should have had a fresh fade, they did my boy dirty, right? I understand that part of the storytelling, but there is also a component as a blurred where as a blurred who didn't have a lineup until ninth grade and still occasionally like now I just clean it all up.
Nice.
But I hadn't had a lineup until ninth grade. I mean, he's in high school now. Would he be sensitive to it? We know he had the fresh cut when he was trying to be popular, but now his girlfriend is in a coma in a hospital and he's going to see her every day. Maybe the barber's locked out, like maybe the barber moved or is quarantined outside of Hawkins, whatever. But why wouldn't they just cut it a little lower and have it like a fro? Like, because
Mhm.
he didn't necessarily have a lineup in the first three seasons. He didn't. It was just kind of a short, messy fro. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. That is typical for Midwest town. If you don't necessarily have black barbers or you're not necessarily like too hip to trying to make sure that you're super hip. Um, but the fact that they made this wig, right? And I think this is where it is a little different from the other seasons. Um, Apart from the storytelling, the wig going over the actor Caleb's actual hair, I think they could have done it better. They could have made it to where it wasn't as much of a distraction. Because I will say in season 5 part 1, I kept getting pulled out of every single scene that he showed up in. Right? It was
Mhm.
just like, what is going on?
What are
Um,
those? Just
it
easily.
just
Yeah, I was the
easily,
same way.
Well,
but
you mentioned
mhm,
barber, lack of
mhm,
barber. That could have been a thing. And also, like, I was gonna ask, is this, and I guess it's subjective to each family, but is this a barber straight up thing? Could this be a family thing as well, where like they get cut at home? And also, that's if they do get cut at home and they don't see their parents that often, that could also be a thing. Um, Also, I mean, it's not
mhm.
as bad as Lucas's, but Dustin growing his hair like Eddie Munson,
Yeah,
that's like
Yeah.
it's a hell of a mullet, but it's not a good mullet. I mean,
yeah.
Billy had a good mullet.
Yeah.
But again, so I think Dustin, I think a lot of them are going through what we are seeing is,
They're
some
like
of
in
the
the
effects
hospital.
of the stress, of the
Oh, sure.
PTSD from how long they've been fighting. They are children. I think Dustin clearly was depressed from, some of what they did show, what they exhibited with how he was handling the loss of Eddie.
Should we
With
go into volume 2?
we can go into
Yeah.
volume.
We could go
Absolutely, we
into
can.
volume
Yeah.
2.
Because that shows a
Uh,
lot of distress that
Hmm.
Dustin had and how it manifested itself with Steve.
See.
yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So I know the first one, I guess, but before we go on to part two, I will say part one, I enjoyed it. I was hopeful. They ended on a high note, and I think that was part one was really good. I
Hmm.
thoroughly enjoyed it. A little bit of exposition, but I don't think it was too
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, now getting into part two of some of the things that they showed and some of the things we were watching. All right. So Brandon, you can go first this time. What were you thinking specifically about part two?
Part two had a lot of speeches,
Sure.
a
Mhm.
lot, and
Mhm.
I get it. We're connected to these characters. We are in it. Into the deep shit. So hearing everybody have like 5 or 10 minute speeches, I'm gonna be honest. Like me and the wife were on the couch Christmas day and night. Just waiting on this thing. We
Yeah.
started to nod off a little bit, just a little bit. It just wasn't all the way engaging, but some of the stuff was really engaging. But I will say the Nancy and John character, that's when we were snoozing probably the most. Just because like the goopy room and all that. That was part two of all this
Yeah.
stuff,
Goopy
right?
Room is part two. Yeah.
Goopy room and them breaking up or making a proposal thing going on. Snooze fest for me personally. I was just like, come on now, come on. Stop it.
Yeah, that's
I just
fair.
got a
That's
little
fair.
bored off it.
Did we
But
get? Did they?
go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead, Brendan.
No, I'm saying that, but then outside of that, actually back to John and Nancy shooting
Mhm.
a shotgun at some mystery cloud. What's the fucking logic to that, man? Like, I, it's just why would you do it? You don't have everybody there. You're just making like a gunslinger move, and it screwed everything up, right? So
And the weird
that
walkie-talkie
was
thing
bothering
that
to me.
people have
Yeah,
called out, where it's like, so we as the audience could clearly hear, even through the broken walkie-talkie that they showed, hey, don't touch it, right? Like it was still, you heard don't, and you
yeah.
heard like,
Oh,
like you could tell they were telling you not to do something, and then it's just, what they say? I don't know. Let me shoot it anyway.
they
Yeah, that
duck hunt,
was,
man.
I, I kind of understand it from kind of an 80s 90s action movie like shoot first ask questions later, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but I
The only thing I can think of is having kids around. The fact that we, the audience, heard it, maybe they didn't. And I think clearly I'm really good at creating suspension of disbelief when I watch
Mhm.
this stuff.
Hmm.
Okay.
Because I have in volume one when they started with the product placement, with this kind of stuff, the Gatorade stuff,
Right.
Mhm.
and Murray's just handing out stuff from the truck. All I was waiting for was for them to hold it to the camera like this and break the fourth wall, because it was just like it was
It was pretty
so
obvious.
so obvious. So I had to, like, little by little, I had to start like, okay, it might be like this.
Mhm.
So maybe like switch the suspension of disbelief a little bit more. And I know they did it in season 3 or 2 with the new Pepsi or
Mhm.
new
Mhm.
Coke.
I think it was New
Uh,
Code.
was it new Coke?
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
when
gonna
they were in the
ask
grocery store.
when
Yeah.
Brendan was talking about the Goopy. Did they say, because I dozed a little bit as well, not because I was super bored, but I watched this late after putting the kids to bed, so I just
Mhm.
kind of fall asleep sometimes. What was the Goopy stuff? Did they say what that was, or it's just like we don't know?
Man, yeah, because it was really House of Wax
Yeah,
but I
is
think
it
it
part
was
of
like
like that
just
matter or whatever?
ripping reality or something, like just
I
something.
Yeah, I don't think they completely explained it. I
Okay,
think it's interesting how they described what the orb was that was ultimately shot, right? And it being the not dark matter. What is it? What's it called?
what was
I'm
it
forgetting right now.
called?
Yeah, it was like
Something
other matter
science?
or like
Yeah, something
Oh,
matter.
why is it forgetting me? Okay, all right, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up now because that's gonna bug me. Um, but apart from that, and it kind of being a in between
Black hole
type,
ooze. Radio Power Gaming says
almost like a MacGuffin. What was that? Black
black
hole
hole
black hole
ooze.
ooze.
I don't think it was
Oh
called black hole.
snap, dude! Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have Shredder coming out of the thing to offer cigarettes to the teenager.
What? I
Spoilers.
mean,
Yeah.
maybe
Would
we're
that
gonna
be
have
the
to
ending
see.
you want, Brandon? Would that be it?
No, I can't have Shredder just show up in my shit, dude. But I
Exotic
mean,
matter. So it
really
was known
cool.
as exotic matter. Okay. All right.
Exotic matter.
That
Okay,
bugged
that's
me.
better.
So the exotic matter having like it being unstable and Dr. Brenner using the exotic matter to stabilize the unstable upside down after 11 first opened it.
Mhm.
I don't know if I still don't understand what the ooze is, and I also don't understand. I was listening to somebody actually give a breakdown of how that scene, as much as it did drag on, and I agree with you, Brandon, between Nancy and Jonathan, uh, and the unproposal, which was confusing to some, but I got it that they were breaking up. The fact that they had to voice their fears to one another, that they kind of aired their grievances to get it off their chest, that seems to have been sort of the theme of part two. Is if we're really going to coalesce as a team, we need to get all these weird secrets out and in the open, right? So you have Nancy and Jonathan, and as soon as they're done confessing that to each other, and they've had that weight lifted where they're not guilted into something, everything goes solid. It stops being ooze and it goes solid. Then you have Dustin and oh my goodness,
Steve?
Steve?
Dustin and Steve Harrington. I was just thinking, I kept wanting to call him the Hair.
The
Oh,
hair.
Dustin and
yeah, that's fine.
Dustin and Steve,
Mhm.
where they had a conversation, and first they were beefing about Eddie dying over nothing, and then eventually Dustin was just realizing he didn't want to lose Steve too,
Yeah.
and
I like that.
him voicing being scared of losing somebody else, right? So
Yeah.
losing somebody as significant as Eddie in his life, particularly as a young boy who doesn't have a father figure at home. So he really is looking to Eddie, and he really is looking to Steve as kind of those male role models. And it's probably why another part of why the teacher bonds so much with Dustin, why Dustin bonds so much with the teacher too, having positive male role models, and then Dustin letting that fear out, letting it go, actually having a conversation about those fears. He saved Steve,
Yeah.
but then
Oh,
they're
yeah.
also able to kind of, okay, now let's band together. And I know that even leads into the conversation. Like you said, there's lots of conversations about fears. Some of it, the pacing of part two, I will say sometimes the pacing was off. There were very important scenes, like even the scene where Will finally comes out and has that conversation with all of his family and friends. The importance of that not inhibiting him, that Vecna not being able to use or leverage those fears, those deep dark secrets over him, so that he can truly tap into his power, right? Um, that's important. All of these scenes are important to the story. They tell a narrative. Now the question is how they went about doing it, where they placed those scenes, like um, in the season, whether it was part one or part two. Part one seemed to end on this whoa, like revelation of Will getting his powers. And even Will getting his powers there, and the way that they explained it was, okay, they're not actually his powers. He's siphoning off powers from Vecna, but they are powers that Will is able to manifest. And that came from him knowing he was loved, right? That
Oh, yeah.
scene where they go into his mind and they have him accept himself and understand who he is. Cool part about that scene is they actually reference season two when they were in the shed and they were trying to disguise where they were from the mind flayer so he couldn't send the demodogs through the tunnels to find them. But they were trying to make sure that they could get Will out of this trance. What they were sharing with Will, you had the mom share a memory of him drawing a rocket ship with a box of crayons. That's what they portrayed with Will flashing back to, like, before he gained his powers. You had Jonathan share about building Fort Byers and that memory of when it rained. And then you had Will cut back to that memory. And then you had Mike discussing when when they first met in kindergarten, and he walked up to the swing set and said, "Hey, do you want to be my friend?" And he said yes, and that's the bravest thing he's ever done, and that's the best decision he ever made, right? Those three memories with Mike, with Joyce, and with Jonathan were what made him understand and, like, actually be able to tap into that power. And so that was such an awesome moment.
Mhm.
And then it feels like you had a follow up with that moment of Will being able to fight Vecna and, like, break his leg. Like, that was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
that was another really good, really powerful scene. And then the pacing, though, of, okay, here's the plan. We're about to go fight the big bad Vecna. Wait a minute, and then having that conversation. I understand why they did it. I understand why they had to do it from a story perspective of he needed to remove that to just know that they all truly accepted him, and that being a powerful moment. It does feel, though, from a pacing perspective, that it slowed kind of the crescendo, so to speak, right? It felt like we were building up, building up, building up. And it's been 3 years. Of course, we've objectively seen it from the audience's point of view. Well, yeah, of course we could see it. We saw Will crying in the back of the car in season 4, and we've seen the look like we've known since season 2. But I mean, this really is a hard moment for him in context, in universe, removing ourselves from the situation and understanding what he's confessing and why he feels like he needs to.
So I have
Um,
a
yeah,
question on that. So like
yeah,
clearly he felt strong when he did what he did after episode 4, right? And
mhm,
then the insecurity creep back in because he realized that he's not as strong as he thought he was, and whatever. I'm
mhm,
assuming a little bit of this insecurity comes from having the secret, having from not being fully accepted. So I'm
yeah,
wondering, I think people needed to know regardless of when it
mhm,
happened, but I
yeah,
wonder if it happens now in order to remove, hopefully, any insecurity that's left in him
yeah,
to be able to really hone in. Because I think
mhm,
he's going to be a big part of destroying whatever it is that they have to destroy. Like, it's not just an 11 at this point.
no,
Um, I feel like a lot of the parts within that, I guess it's a monologue. I think he acted the hell out of that scene.
Oh yeah.
Um, I've never experienced having a secret like that, but I could feel it um, in a very believable way. And I liked I liked what they did with Sadie when she was on the wheelchair and she's like, "You have to come to me because I can't give you a hug or whatever." That was
Mhm.
nice.
yeah,
But I did have a question about the questions from, because I don't think Stranger Things has ever answered a question outside of like the fake body, which that was pretty easy to answer. But I
yeah,
wonder, I wonder if for
mhm,
storytellers or writers and directors for the Duffers, I wonder if there is a different muscle that has to be turned on in order to close something. Because season 1, 2, 3, 4 has just been, we're opening a new thing and we're gonna wait until next season to kind of fully explain it. And now they have to answer all those things, and they decided to add more to it. So like was I hope that they can flex the muscle that they've been doing in world
mhm,
building and developing all these questions as well as answering them, because it is like a different thing, because now the pacing feels different because we're doing a Game of Thrones thing where we're like, we have the overarching story, which is the big battle that's coming, but we're trying to close all these emotional loops between the characters that are strong, but then our brain has to like, okay, hold on a second, let me get my brain back into this mode now to like
mhm,
kind of empathize with this. And then a second later we're like shooting a bunch of people and like running trucks through, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, again, I wonder if answering questions, I hope it's as strong of if they're as strong at answering than they are at just
mhm,
developing those questions.
Yeah.
yeah. Go
I
ahead,
wanted
Brandon.
to say something about Will's, I guess, coming out speech,
Sure.
Mhm,
or just this whole story arc from season 5, well, actually all the seasons to right now,
yeah,
and to connect that to blurred culture for
mhm,
me, at least personally,
yeah,
because I felt like I can relate to his coming out. Not I'm not gay, but accepting that I'm a blurred, accepting, especially in my culture and growing up with people who weren't all blurs. You know, I had black friends who would call me gay for liking Star Wars or being into art. You know, you had a lot of people who would just knock that down or call you out because you weren't into sports or you weren't listening to the same stuff that they would listen to. So I always felt othered, and not just with the black culture, but also with white culture as well. Going to a Catholic school, I was the only black kid in my grade, So I was just different. And knowing that he's different and accepting that and willing it to power was very, very powerful to me.
Yeah.
Seeing him actually wield that as a weapon and it be his superpower. Because
Mhm.
I kind of felt the same way when I accepted, like, hell, I don't care if you call me nerdy, this, whatever. Like, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do, draw in class. And then some of these jocks would come up to me in high school and be like, hey, I got a girlfriend, can you draw me something? It's like, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Just, that's what I do. And that's my superpower. So relating to Will in that degree felt assured that maybe something might happen, that he has like a mic drop moment at the end of this series that's really going to be like insane. So I can't wait to see it.
You think he can have a bigger
Mhm.
mic drop moment than at the end of episode 4?
You know what I want?
Mhm.
You know what I want? I want almost like Dragon Ball Z, fingers touching
Yeah,
from
dude.
Fusion
11,
dance.
8. Yes, yes, fusion together.
What was
They
that
kick
show?
Vecna.
What was the
Yep, they do
soccer
the whole
show?
thing.
What was the anime where the dudes would make all kind of crazy goals and the twins would jump off the posts and kick the ball together? Did you guys never watch that?
Which
I
one is
don't
that? What
think
is
so. I
that?
don't know which one that is.
So in Chile we get like I guess we get I don't know if they were well known anime, but I'm gonna have to look it up.
School
It's a
us. I want to know, man.
it's straight up a soccer anime. Uh,
Okay.
there's a video game of it now, but
Cool us.
they were like very each character had a very specific way of playing,
Hmm.
and kind of you know how in Dragon Ball Z when like they would milk out a fight for like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like that, and it was even worse because they would slow mo them trying to kick the ball, so you're just waiting, and it's just literally boom, and then the ball just starts going like this, and then they would end it right when it's about to hit the goal, and then you
Mhm.
have to wait until the next episode. But anyways,
Damn.
I'll have to look that up. But
Yeah,
maybe I'm
look
the
it
only
up.
one
I
that
want to
knows
know.
about that.
It's all
But
good.
yeah, I feel like
It
that.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I feel like that connection. I feel like they need to link up in some way in order to
Something.
defeat whatever it is. Defeat the wall, I guess. Right? That's what they're fighting. I
Mm.
don't.
Are they fighting the wall? No, they're
I
waiting
don't think
for the world to get low enough, like for the bridge to
that.
collapse, so that they can then break through and then defeat him in the on the
Defeat
yeah
Vecna.
yeah
So
yeah. But
Vecna is still the bad guy.
Vecna is so far still the bad guy as far as we understand. I know there are a couple of other theories
Oh,
out there. I know it kind of showed, okay, they're not in the upside down. The upside down isn't what we thought it was initially. But Brandon, did you finish your thought on the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z of what you wanted to
Oh,
see like in the final episode? Was that just functionally it, just them working together?
I just I want to know that the power kids are able to stop the most powerful monster in that realm. But I also kind of now I'm leaning like, is Vecna almost not the evil one? Is it always the government? Is it always, these people that are tampering with the upside down or trying to create, well, like they're feeding number eight's blood into pregnant women. That's pretty fucking evil to
It's
me.
yeah, that is
And
wild.
to
Yep.
what end goal are we talking about? Vecna at
And
least is just, taking kids away, doing his little creepy goblin Freddy Krueger shit. Evil, yes,
mhm.
but the government's doing some evil stuff too. So where are we going with this?
well,
How's it going to
Brandon
land?
is trying to empathize with the big bad. Can I?
Yeah,
So the show is called Captain Tsubasa. I think that's what it's called.
okay,
Captain
cool.
Tsubasa.
For anybody,
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that right, but also Brandon, I shared this with you earlier, but I don't know if people have watched the movie Weapons.
Oh yeah.
Is that a spoiler? Is that a
Should
spoiler
we put a
alert for
spoiler
that?
alert for weapons?
I
Yeah,
Maybe
guess
not
maybe
just.
that's
maybe we
Yeah,
won't go
just
into that. But if you watch it, maybe there is
connections.
some
Yeah.
similarities between
true.
that I
Yeah, we
noticed.
talked
But
about it.
yeah, I don't know. Where were we at? What was the last thought we had? I got sidetracked.
So we were just talking about what do we want to see like in the
Yeah.
finale. I know I'm hopeful. As you were asking the question of how are they going to tie things together, Dave actually pointed out something, but will overshadow Elle in her showdown with Vecna, and that
Hmm.
is one interesting component of the story that I feel like is a fair discussion. Of we have 4 seasons of Elle seemingly being the primary character. It being about Elle's journey in order to control her powers, understand her powers, to fight back, to push back against the military and the institutions that functionally weaponized her. Her trying to right her wrongs with right her wrongs, and confronting what she couldn't remember and things that happened, that fateful day in that gruesome scene with how season 4 even opens up, right?
Mhm.
Do you
Um,
remember that?
th-
And I don't want to get too deep, but
yeah,
something bad happened right before that
in real
show.
life, yeah, and
Yeah.
they had to have
So
that disclaimer.
they
Yeah.
had to add a disclaimer, and I was just like, when I saw a disclaimer, because I don't when I love something, I don't watch trailers. I know nothing about it, so I don't know
Hmm.
if there was any
Mhm.
of this in the trailers. But when I saw a disclaimer, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, this is the first episode.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, yeah,
No,
it
it's
was
it's
a tough
really
watch.
intense,
It was a tough watch.
really intense scene that they opened up on. But a
Yeah.
lot of that is like it feels like Elle is kind of has been second fiddle. I know the Duffers have come out and said that Will has always been the central character. I feel like that's a little bit of a
They
cop
said
out.
that?
Yeah, like there have been different interviews where it's always been, well, Will is always like been the center character. It's always been about Will. And objectively,
Mhm.
though, looking back, it's like that's just not true. I think Will's journey to accepting himself and being accepted by his friends has always been one of the subplots, but it hasn't been the center plot. And so
Mhm.
it does feel a little weird not knowing and not wanting to go into conjecture about what's going on with contracts or different things or whatever, but Millie Bobby Brown has been pretty well centered as far as storytelling and how she's featured. And this season, it does feel as though I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested to learn more about how they are going to wrap up Elle's story. I think Kali brings an interesting perspective. I'm not with the Kali hate. I love that they brought her back and they even answered that question that I had in season
True.
4 is where is she? Why isn't she helping? Like, are there other kids? Because even them exploring that in season 2, episode 7, exploring that, hey, there's another person that made it out, could they introduce somebody else? And I had this idea of them all teaming up against the big bad and having different types of powers that were developed as a result of the experiments. But the fact that they brought her back, hold on, yeah, last episode is 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Is
Okay,
she
so I
done?
mean, it's
Do you feel
movie
that's
length.
enough time? Do
I
you
don't.
think
I
that's
thought it was gonna be like 3 hours. I'm reserving judgment because I think sometimes well, one, I love being surprised, right? I never get into this space where it's like in my
Yeah.
own head canon. Well, I wanted it to be this. Okay, it's not that. I can be disappointed, but still
Mm.
acknowledge that they told a good story. So the fact that we don't have the finale, which I thought we were going to have the finale, I'm not going to lie, I was really disappointed Christmas Eve, or not Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day when it's like, okay, we're watching it. And I'm like, wait a minute. There are only 3 more episodes? I
Oh
thought,
yeah.
I thought it was four. I thought it was 4-4-1, but clearly it's three.
yeah. And so I
I
was
felt
like,
jibbed. I felt
huh,
jibbed.
that's.
How long was Endgame? 3 hours?
I want to say 3 hours because it felt
Maybe.
like three
Yeah.
hours, but you
Because
accepted it because it
Endgame,
was just it ended the
Yeah,
way
three
that it ended.
hours,
Yeah,
181 minutes. Yeah,
yeah. But
so
let's say this about Sebastian: you got tickets to go to the finale, right? Like this,
that'll be good.
I
like
did.
in theater
I did.
experience.
Yeah, I missed New Year's Day, but I'm going the day afterwards. So I'm debating of whether to
Hmm.
watch it at home beforehand or to just experience it all at the theater. I
Mm,
think I might wait and just do the theater, and hopefully I don't get a teenager with their phone next to me.
mm. Stay off
'Cause-
Well,
socials.
depending on which theater you go to, too. I know you
Oh,
already
I'm
have the
talking at the
tickets, but
theater.
they're
Like at the
okay.
theater, people pull out their phone now. It's like a regular thing.
Oh no,
Mhm.
well, I was saying like if you go to a theater like the Alamo, They have a very strict no phones policy. They
Oh,
have
this
a
is
you can't
just
come in late. Like they will, if you pull out your phone, they will absolutely boot
they
you.
have a
So people
bouncer.
are supposed to be immersed in the
They
movie.
got
Yeah,
bouncers. Yeah.
They got a bouncer just waiting.
yeah,
No, this is just AMC. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that the people that did buy a ticket for this are not casuals,
Hmm.
right? I mean, because funny enough, it wasn't cheap because they found a way to they put in a $20 um, charge for your like popcorn or whatever.
hmm.
So you have to buy the ticket plus a $20 charge in order just to go. And then you
What?
get a little gift receipt with a $20 that you can use for sodas and stuff, which is fine. I mean, I was gonna get something regardless, but it
Mhm.
was interesting that they did that. But yeah, you mentioned that. I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be. I mean, I haven't experienced something that big for me since Endgame. I guess
Yeah.
The Spidey movie where they came together was kind of like that, but not as big. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna sit on my own for a little bit after it ends to try and see what my thoughts are. But oh man, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
As
something to say, but I lost it.
as a whole, I know circling back to how the Sinclairs were handled in this final season. So in part one, I wasn't necessarily a fan of Lucas's hairline, but his character was still intact, even if his hair wasn't. And then wasn't a fan of how Erica was portrayed in that one scene with the needle. But I think they did. There was a redeeming moment where they both came up, like the siblings came up with their different plans of, well, hey, we could do this, and hey, we could do that. And as you talked about, her kind of being the proxy for Dustin, since Dustin's in the Upside Down, of being that person who is super nerdy and coming up with different ideas or concepts of how to even locate Dustin along with the teacher. Um, I think that they did warm me back up to how they were portraying the Sinclairs. I still think there's that gaping hole of where are the parents, why aren't they involved? The dad was a nom, he should understand. Like he would definitely be able to help them like infiltrate military installations, things like that.
Hmm.
But then also one component that I think the Duffers started, and again, I understand why they couldn't necessarily complete it or haven't completed it, is early on they do kind of explore some of the racial implications of being black in the Midwest, with the bully referring to Dustin, or not Dustin, the bully referring to Lucas as Midnight, right? And calling Dustin
Hmm.
Toothless and calling Mike Frogface. There was that racial component, which was light, and then they took it a little further with Billy coming in and just flat out being like, "Nope, don't talk to him, don't be around him," like him not liking that whatsoever. The whole dynamic of Max and Lucas dating, and I do think it was interesting. It was a choice, and I understand that some of that came from the upbringing of Billy and some of the principles that were probably pushed onto him from his father, who actually did use a slur in relation to gay people when referencing Billy, right? So that shows the
Hmm.
type of man that the father was. So Billy then looking to victimize other people, it fits within his character, but it was an interesting choice to have the California transplant be the person
Mhm.
who was the most racist person, like in
Yeah.
the Midwest. It was like, huh, okay. I feel like other people would still have
Yeah.
an issue in the
What
80s.
part of California were they from?
I don't
I'm
know.
guessing.
I
Yeah,
don't know what
I
part
don't
of
think they
California.
said
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
I think yeah,
But
but
historically speaking, they Nam took place in the mid 60s. And so the loving decision that actually made interracial marriage legal didn't take place until 69. So they're not even 20 years away from the legalization of interracial marriage. And so I know they're not talking marriage, but I mean, there were opinions. We talk about things of the time that just like how hard it was for Will to be Will, to be who he was and to be out and open about it. That's another component that I feel like they started to touch on, but I don't know how they would really um, bring that to a close or really kind of like address it in what seemed to be kind of like this healing moment or magnificent moment. I feel like it just kind of went away when Billy died.
I
Like,
feel like the only and I wanted to give, because I think Lucas, obviously the things that you guys experience as blurs, the very specific thing that I don't notice, like the hairline and all that stuff. Um, I did notice that character from California in season 3, the dude with the long hair.
Argyle.
Really?
Yeah, that
Argyle
was a
was
lot.
season 4.
Season 4, that was a lot of
Yeah.
hair. But anyways,
Yeah.
I did the last episode. It was the last episode of season 5 was the Max and Lucas episode, right? Where
Mhm.
is it the last episode, or where she wakes up and they have that beautiful interaction back and forth or whatever.
That
Was
was,
that the start of part 2?
let's see.
Or
But
like
if you think
right?
about it, like they are the only relationship that's still gone through from the beginning, right? Like all of them have a kind of shattered.
Mhm.
Some have
Mhm.
shattered fast, some have shattered slow. So
Well,
I
they
feel
had
like that's
kind of a stir up, and I forgot what season 11 was going to the mall. Like the mall season, I think
Mhm.
there was some kind
yeah,
of
but that was like kid stuff, right? Like
yeah,
that
it
was
was
just
kid
like,
stuff.
oh, that was like don't call him
Yeah.
back, and then it became worse when Max
Yeah,
was
when it got
dealing with
popular.
the when
Yeah.
Max was dealing with the PTSD of Billy. So like obviously she
Yeah.
was trying to separate herself, and Lucas was having none of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like what Quip was saying is like, are we ever gonna have a resolution to the race issue like we had with Will, which he was able
Mhm.
to close that at least within his group, right? Like he
Yeah.
still has
Yeah.
he still has to figure out how to live in the actual world outside of his group.
I'll
But I
say I
feel
don't
like
think so because I don't think it's like a main focus for the Duffers.
At this point, I
which
don't I
part?
don't think it would be.
No,
I
no,
just
no.
think it
But
was interesting that they explored it, but
Yeah.
I just feel like they
I
kind of
think
dropped it.
well,
Yeah.
my point was more of like the fact that the relationship has progressed, and it is one of the few really nice things in the season. I
Mhm.
feel like it's a nice way to kind of give the character like impetus, like give him importance, and like, okay, they can say Will is the whole show or whatever, or 11, but I feel like the emotional stuff, which is what Stranger Things is really good at, like really trying
Mhm.
to I've only felt that with Lucas and Max, and I'm really
Mhm.
happy that they got that moment. And I've been replaying like that scene because the acting from both of them is so good.
Oh, it was great.
So I feel like Lucas is my favorite in this season. Not
Yeah.
that he never
Crunchy
was
crunchy
before.
wig and all.
I mean,
Wig and
honestly,
all.
if you
Well,
did
and they
have to
shot
pick a
him,
I
favorite,
ignored it. I ignored it because the acting was so good. But
dude,
like
and
I'm
they
like,
shot him
oh man.
high. They shot him high
Yeah,
in
they
that
did.
season that scene because Sadie was looking at him. So you didn't see all of
Mhm.
the back hair
No, you
stuff.
didn't
It was
see
it
all
was fine.
the side
What
glue.
did you
You
pull
didn't see
up? You pulled up a comment quick. What was it?
oh, I pulled up the comment from Brian Brink where introducing a new big bad at this point would be a mistake. Don't want another somehow Palpatine return moment. I think that's a fair conversation. I think
No, yeah.
people are saying Thessala Hydra. I know that's a really popular theory. I know my theory was on the other side of the bridge. The structure that Holly's being kept in does like it kind of looks like hair follicles, so I feel like on the other side of the bridge is Lucas's hairline.
it.
Um, but, but no, I don't know if it's a new bad. I think there's still a question of, and as Dave kind of mentioned, there's like a Broadway show that fleshes it out. I know you've seen it, Sebastian. You have like the movie poster, or not the movie poster, but the play bill poster, and it does. There are a lot of questions answered there. I'm not a fan of when shows make you have to see something else to understand everything that's going on.
As
You
far
know what
as
I'm
I
saying?
know, yeah, as far as
Yeah.
I know personally, having watched the show and the play, which if
Mhm.
anybody goes to New York, I see the figure report. He's in New York. If you haven't watched that play, you really should because it's amazing. But as far as I know, the only connection that they made in the show was that 50s throwback scene that they shot. where Max pulls
Oh,
up
where she was in his brain. Yeah,
when
yeah.
she pulls up the flyer. That's like
Hmm.
the only connection. But if you're interested, also there is a Netflix documentary about the play, which is really good,
Okay.
and they do a lot of, because that came out before season 5, and there was a lot of stuff in the documentary about the Duffers dealing with the writer of the play, which used to be a writer for the show, and saying we need to scrap this because this is now going to be in season 5. But so far I haven't seen much of that. Like basically, like Hatter would say, is it exclusive or fail? No. If if you don't watch,
Okay. Okay.
you don't see the play, you can still enjoy the show for like all that it is.
Yeah.
um but it is a really good freaking show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Hi
I
Gary.
know there are different aspects. So I want to see the show so that I can better understand and have an in-depth understanding. Like as I understand it, um what was it? So Brenner was obsessed with it. They talk a little bit about Project Rainbow, and that's how they were trying to make a submarine like go to the upside down, but it wasn't 100% the upside down. Hey, J Shot
Thank
sent some more
you.
money your way for your
Yeah.
birthday, and he's
Amazing.
excited for this new
Regards.
show. So thanks, Jay Shot.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
the support. I'll talk to Jay. Hey, you now owe Brandon $15 for his birthday.
Problem.
Yeah, go ahead and drop off Gary because it is all spoiler alert. I don't know if I should just have that up because I know people are kind of jumping in and out.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I saw
it's sorry. Go ahead, Sebastian.
I saw a comment that mentioned that they were watching the show on mute because I guess they just wanted to support, but they couldn't listen to what was going on. So I thought that was interesting.
That is
Mm.
cool. So I do appreciate
Thank you guys.
everybody again still supporting, and as we're getting things up and going, and as we're even tightening things up, because I know. So one, this is just fun. I like chatting with you too. It's a little different from the format that I was planning to go with, but I think it's just more of an organic conversation that we're doing right now. As we dial in the actual podcast, I think we'll tighten up the structure and everything. Because there were different aspects. Like I know one of the things we didn't talk about yet with Lucas and his characterization was in season 1, how people retrospectively have looked at Lucas and said, "Oh, he was just so mean to 11," rather than acknowledging that as a young black boy growing up in the Midwest in a primarily white town of Hawkins, Indiana, he does like his parents are probably in his ear. You need to be mindful of people. Who is your friend? Who isn't your friend? You got to be more practical. And I love that the Duffers kind of led with that as his characterization of him coming in saying, "You don't think this is weird that this strange girl showed up and that Will disappeared and that she kind of knows stuff that's going on, but she's withholding information? Like what's happening there?" I think that is a great like that was me in the friend group as a kid with my other nerdy friends go, okay, we need to really think about this because this is odd. I'm not just rolling with you picking up a random girl that we found in the forest and her living in your basement. And then even Lucas was the only one that called Mike out for being weird. He was like, "You're
Mm.
just happy that a girl is talking to you and is
That likes
actually
you.
not creeped out by you." But clearly Elle is in shock. She's undergone a traumatic experience, which has like she's still gaining her faculties again. So there's something going on with Elle, and then even Mike from a kid perspective. One, he kissed her, and it's funny because I'm watching through it with my daughter now, who's in grade school, and she was like, "Yeah, not cool." And we are like, "No, not cool, not
Not
cool at
cool.
all." That Mike is just, "Oh, I'm just gonna kiss you," and well, my parents could adopt you, and then you'd be like my sister, but not really my sister, because then we could still date. It's all kinds of weirdness, and Mike being the only person who she's had opportunity not had opportunity because they've gone through some things, but she immediately kind of like trauma bonds with Mike, right? Because he was nice to her, and then she's the first girl to like him. That whole dynamic when you were talking about relationships earlier, Brandon, is weird. It's odd. So then you've also got like, so yeah, you have Elle and Mike, which is odd. Max and Lucas, who I think is like the only couple that you're legitimately rooting for.
I hope so.
Nancy and Jonathan, I love that. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Nancy Wheeler, I love that she got to not be defined by her relationship with some boy, right? Because they were doing this weird Jonathan and Steve were both being jackasses. They really were. And so
Yeah.
for her to be like, nope, neither of you. I just kind of want to figure out my own thing. I think that showed maturity, and I think that was really cool. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see where it lands. For all my criticisms, for things that I feel like could have been handled differently. Ooh, one thing we haven't actually talked about before I get into that too is so another aspect of part two. And we were just kind of talking about it with Max and Lucas. How did both of you respond to the scene where the portal opened up in Camazotz?
Hmm.
And Max's portal was open and it was there. Just curious to know what you may have been feeling in that moment with Max and Holly and how that whole scene went down.
I'll take that one first. I think it's oh dude, because the season 4 thing was so epic, right? Like the running with to that song and her breaking through and stuff falling, like you really felt like, oh, she's gonna die.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And this one felt like, where is the bad guy? You know, it felt like a video game that had a glitch and like the bad guy never loaded.
Okay,
Uh,
fair enough.
because I don't know, I didn't feel any sense of danger there at all. And I feel like this whole Vecna walking really slow was cool in the beginning, but now it's getting kind of annoying. Um, so I have mixed feelings about it because of that. Because I feel like they already did it once so well
Yeah.
that the
Hmm.
second time doing it is kind of like, I wish they would have found a different way to bring her back.
Hmm.
And I understand. I'm cool with her talking to the little girl. I'm fine with that with Holly
Holly.
because she
Yeah.
felt like she's like, I feel really bad for leaving you. I have to. Here's as much as I can give you. But
Okay.
yeah, that my feeling is more of like this scene was made so well before. Now I wish that they would have done it a little bit differently because there's no way they're gonna hit the notes like they did that time.
Yeah, they went
Hmm.
from Will taking over Vecna to saying, "If you can hear me, run!" Right? And then it's like they ran, they made it to this place, like in the rocks, and then they found another exit. But it's not as if that was the only gate to get to Camazotz, right? Even if Vecna didn't want to follow them that way into Camazotz, there could have been more tension to your point, right? It felt like it slowed.
Hmm.
It felt like again, it was just another pacing thing where okay, lots of build up. Okay, they're running. Okay, they're trying to get out. What's going on? Okay, they're in his memory. Wow, that's a dark memory, but it's justified. As far as Henry like wrestling with the scientist who was trying to shoot him, and then him shooting the scientist in order to save himself. Right? That's a scary thing for a kid to experience. But after that, it's like, okay, he didn't follow you there. That doesn't mean that there isn't another way that he can still get you. But Brandon, I actually think I texted you during
Yeah.
that scene of.
I think we both at the same time
Yeah,
like we had the invisible watch on tapping it
yeah. Like, what
because
are you?
yeah, like what's going on? This taking like 10 minutes. I get it. She has to explain, like, Holly, you can't come with me. You're
Right.
gonna like this ain't your body. You have to find, but they had the other portal like right over there.
That
And
was
both of them
interesting that the
are
portal
running.
opened just close. Like it felt like it was closer than Max's portal.
Yeah. But they're both running in slow-mo, super
Yeah,
slow. And like you said, Sebastian, like it was done well before. So it's like going back to that well felt like I kept on saying, and my wife too, she was like, okay, hurry it up, run, come on, hurry up. Like you're right
yeah,
there. It almost would have been more compelling if the portals stopped, just closed up and they both couldn't get out. So now
yeah.
had to find another way. And now
Well,
Lucas is left with Max's body in that scenario where it felt like Jurassic Park and the Demigorgons are lurking around the corner and shit like
That was a
that.
good scene.
so
Great scene.
bringing up that, because we talked about that parallel with Jurassic Park of them hiding behind that cabinet and the
Mhm.
Velociraptor waiting by the door.
Hmm.
I do feel like there was tension in that part, and again, it's a Lucas scene.
Mhm.
There was tension with him keeping
Hmm.
the radio on because everyone's like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm sorry, but I gotta keep the radio on."
Yeah.
So you
She's almost
mentioned
here.
You just mentioned, Brendan, that it should have closed. It should have, if the radio stopped, but he didn't let it. So
Hmm.
that was kind of a cool part of like, it's ridiculous that this is happening, and any normal sane person would turn off the music, but he knows how much there's to lose here,
Yeah,
and he's not willing to do that. So I think that part,
that is a powerful scene. That's a really good
I
Yeah.
scene.
I
Also, him
personally,
carrying his woman
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
sternum
oh yeah,
kicking the
Oh yeah.
demodog, which even then, I mean, plot armor is a real thing, right? Where we just saw this same demodog take out these military like full grown dudes, but I
right,
guess again through the power of love and plot armor, he was able to just kick the thing in the sternum, and it went "Barr!"
Right.
and
like
then the door closed. That was I was
um,
like, okay, and this is
Okay.
with the gash on his chest while holding his comatose
Oh yeah.
girlfriend. But to
No
your
stitches.
point, no, that was a really good scene, and actually somebody had pointed out that the speech, like Holly's, or the speech that Max gave to Holly, like that whole scene was longer than the actual Kate Bush song. So, like,
Mm.
yes, it was playing, and then not only was it playing, but was Lucas like rewinding it like a little bit and then
Yeah.
playing it again, and then still making sure it doesn't close. So then somebody's got to be singing it in order to
Yeah.
keep it open. But I think they actually pointed out that Max said that she didn't actually need the
right,
song, she just
right.
needed
Just needed
Lucas.
Lucas.
They
And
ran
so
out of
even
budget
I'm
for
telling
that,
you,
something.
I rolled a tear.
yeah,
I swear to you, it was powerful.
yeah,
Hearing that, it wasn't the song. It wasn't like, and even Max said, "Are you tired of the song yet?" And
Yeah,
all that
he's like,
stuff is like, I love all that stuff. That's why I love
that
Stranger
was good.
Things.
That was
It
good.
just
With "Are You
it
Tired
hit
of the
me.
Song?" And he was just like,
Yeah,
"Yes."
it's like yes,
Like,
yes.
he's like,
it
yeah, I'm
was
over it.
that I really enjoyed that. I mean, as much as there was a suspension of disbelief, like it really is arbitrary the things I'm willing to accept and not willing to accept. But I was like, you know
Mhm.
what, Lucas fighting for his woman and kicking a demodog, like, oh, okay, that's a pretty cool moment that they did give Lucas.
Yeah,
Waiting to see what sort of moment Mike has, because Will's had
Yeah,
his power moment.
yeah, yeah.
Dustin's been like, even Dustin, while they had Erica as a proxy for a little bit, Dustin came through with the "Hey, I found Brenner's office," and I'm not even going to get into the details of,
yeah,
wait, you found Brenner's office, but if that portal opened when 11 like created the upside down and time was frozen, then were those notes in the upside down before the upside down was created? How did those notes get there? Was Brenner just traveling to the upside down to study in his office and hide his notes? How does that work? Because he
mhm,
was hunting Elle at the same time. As it's There's questions
Unbelievable. Yeah.
that I don't think it's going to be in a nice neat little bow, particularly when shows run for this long. It's nice when they're able to close all the different loops, but it does feel like there are a couple things that aren't going to be addressed that are convenient. But I digress. Dustin finding that and then being able to come in and say, hey, here's actually what it is, and explaining it. Dustin has had his moment. Mike, he's kind of there. The mom's really the one who's really all about finding Holly. Like Nancy seems to be like gung ho, like I'm just blicking folks down with the strap,
Mhm.
just like fight, like you said, taking out full blown military dudes. Which that scene to me, I was kind of like, okay, all right. I mean, Hopper and Nancy are taking out these military people. You would think that the military understands the significance of that area and that they'd have more support, but all right. Suspension of disbelief. They were able to make it through. If Lucas can kick a demo dog, Nancy and and Hopper can take out the military folks. But Mike just kind of seems to be there. I think Collie being there has even been an interesting plot point for the fact that they were draining her of her blood. She saw what they were doing with her blood. The fact that I love that she had the conversation. Ooh, it's another big question. What
What
about the
about
Russians? Did the Russians just give up entirely with going into the upside down? That whole subplot from season 4 was, again, it was like, hey, we need to give the adults something to do.
I think it's like it's like a space race all over again. It's just basically like, okay, we're just trying to develop these people, these special
Mhm.
people, further than the Russians have. And I did think about whenever there was one part in the last episode, I think, where they did like a flyover and they showed like the military compound,
Hmm.
And I did think of like that the world, or I guess Hawkins, Indiana, has been in the hands of like 7 teenagers for like years. Um,
Yeah.
and nobody's using, like, the military is not being used to fix anything. It's being used to like work an angle.
Hmm.
So I feel like, again, that goes into the suspension of disbelief or whatever, where there's a lot of things here that maybe don't make sense in the real world. But again, what does, right? We live in a weird place anyways, where there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And they're not as fun as Stranger Things, I guess.
Well, I
But
would say though, that's where I would say I feel like that might be realistic. The Linda Hamilton's character of no, we should be able to control these monsters. These monsters should be on Russian soil, taking out their soldiers. This is a
right,
failure on your part.
right.
They are trying to create a weapon and they're doing it in the name of national security or safety. And so putting that
America.
ideal over what would normally be a hey, let's not mess with that or touch that, right? Especially if, to your point, there's this space race dynamic of hey, we know the Russians are going after this too, so we need to be able to harness this before the Russians do. That kind of being an element of science or an element of reality in the science fiction, I think that's fair. I mean, it's kind of par for the course with a lot of these like science fiction. Like if you think about what is it? Not Avatar, Alien. Alien, that's what I was thinking
Mm.
of. And how many now that's more corporate than it is military, but
Same thing.
there's a military component to it.
Well,
There's a
yeah, and
military
aliens,
component to
Yeah.
Alien trying to weaponize this is the perfect weapon. We can use this for whatever. The corporation can sell this to the military. That's always kind of been an element of what the motivator is behind why doesn't everybody just kind of say, hey, let's not mess with this thing that can easily murder all of humanity?
And can I
Uh,
just say that having Linda Hamilton in it has been great for me, because she has been in the last Terminator stuff and that hasn't been great.
mhm,
So having a lot of these actors that were in 80s stuff join this show that obviously it's an homage to all of this
mhm.
has been great for me to see, like, all of these people that I respect, that I look up to because they made the movies that I love,
Yeah,
be in this
yeah,
show as like help close everything out. And I do like the character that she's playing. I think she is, I believe that she's strong. I believe that she's the right amount of crazy to kind of have to do this. And I don't know if you knew this, but the tall guy, the soldier that keeps getting beat up, that dude with like
yeah, I know who
this,
you're
like, the
talking about.
second
Kind
in
of the shorter
command,
guy. Yeah,
hmm
tall
yeah,
guy. He's
the
got
one
like
who
the
L went into his mind in the bus and
that
everything. Well,
dude,
yeah.
that dude is Brenner in the Broadway show.
Oh
Oh,
wow, oh
really?
that's
Oh,
cool. I like when
cool.
they do
Yeah.
that. That's fun.
And
Nice.
I knew he was gonna play, but I didn't know he was gonna be in for that long. So
Hmm.
that's kind of a cool thing. And clearly he's good enough um, on stage, and he's also seems to be very good, acting on screen. But that's a
Mhm.
cool little Easter egg that I guess not many people would know if you didn't watch the show or the
No,
play.
not at all.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing. No, that is really cool. Um, yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if there are any more moments in season five, part two, specifically.
I think, well, so we spoke about emotional kind of
Hmm.
conclusions, right? So Lucas had his moment with Max.
Hmm.
Dustin had a moment with Steve that I felt was pretty satisfactory, right? Like they really closed that gap that they had. I guess Jonathan and Nancy did it as well. Maybe we wasn't as successful or we didn't care too much. Will had it. So who's left? You mentioned Mike. He's missing some kind of conclusion. And I guess in the beginning of the season, he kind of spoke with Holly about, he gave her the little
Don't
figure.
even. So it's funny that you bring that up. I'm
A
going to
little
let you finish
charm.
the thought. Please
No, so
continue.
basically
Yeah.
I was
Go
going
ahead.
with, is his emotional conclusion
Hmm.
attached to his sister at the end. Hopefully she makes it. We don't
Yeah.
know. And then I think that's it. Well, Erica, what's gonna happen with Erica? Is she gonna have a moment? I'm trying to think of who else is left that we care about within the group that kind of should have a moment before. before whatever happens, or who dies, or whatever, or who
Yeah, because I
lives.
feel like Robin even made nice. Like
Robin,
she
yeah.
was able to bring in her girlfriend, and now they're on the same page, right? Because there was this
Mhm.
riff where she was like, "You're on drugs. You need help." Oh wait, there is a monster. So now she's
Right
in
there,
line.
yeah.
Well, and I feel like
Um,
Robin's gotten more of invested in almost Will than he has in the girlfriend at this point, because she's seen his maturation, from like
mhm.
having all the questions that she was able to help this kid go through all of this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, which I like their relationship, how it developed, and she's kind of the shepherd to his sheep to bring him out, which
Right.
was really powerful. So I know that was even in his head while, he's being choked out by Vecna to, truly use that power of just freedom of self. So I really enjoyed their relationship, but bringing in the girlfriend, unless she dies in like the next episode, dude, why is she there?
I feel like that was
Like I
just
really don't
literally
know.
a connection to the hospital. That was it. That
That's
was
it.
just a
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was just a way to get her in the
because
hospital. Yeah.
Steve, like we had like side conversation about this, but how Steve and Robin, like the convenience of their jobs being plot
Oh yeah.
devices, like
Right.
them having a job at the mall is what got them access to like a lot of the behind the scenes like corridors and them understanding how to navigate the mall. And then you had the movie store, which I'm forgetting now how that had significance, but now the radio station. And so if
Mhm.
you have Robin at the radio station and even understanding some of the concepts associated with the power of the antennas, and they even brought that full circle with the, well, as the worlds are colliding, if you can get up on the radio like and pierce through the other reality, but then do it before the worlds actually collide, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. And but to your point, Sebastian, she probably is there for the connection to the hospital,
Well,
right?
and you mentioned
Beyond
the
the yeah.
you mentioned the movie store. That was
Mhm.
when she was coming out to Steve, right? So that was her story. She didn't come out officially like Will did, but didn't he? How did it happen that he found out?
They
That
had
was
the
in
truth
season
serum.
three. They had the
Yeah.
truth serum and they were in the bathroom. And it was after
Mhm.
the Russians
So
had
that was
injected
already
them
at
with the
the
truth
ice cream.
serum.
That was already at the ice
Yeah,
cream
that
Yeah.
was
before
when they
that.
were at Scoops Ahoy, and that's part of what helped them bond so much is
That
because
was
even
before the
despite the
movie
truth
set.
serum,
That was before the rental
That
store.
was before they
that was
worked
before
at
the rental store. Yeah.
Family
Because in the
Video.
rental
Yeah.
store, Steve says that line where he's like boobies. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I think, hold on, what
Clearly,
is
I
it?
need a rewatch of all of the seasons after this
It is good.
because
That's what's been good about watching through it with my daughter is
have
okay,
you done
cool.
it?
I can see that, and this is connecting. We're on season three now, which is my personal favorite season.
Okay.
I just love the old like mall culture. I'm
Oh yeah, that
nostalgic
was great.
for just
Same.
that
Yeah.
mall scene, and it's sad what's happening, but I also understand, how it's happening. Anyways, I am watching through with my daughter, and there are certain things that I'm picking up on like here and there, and um, oh, like there was one scene where they were explaining something to Hopper in season two, and Lucas said something like, oh, what was it? Oh no, Dustin said something, and he was like, oh, it's a metaphor for so and so and so and so, and he was like, and Lucas corrected him. He's like, no, it's an analogy, and they brought that back when
Mhm.
Steve said that, like you and your silly metaphors. It's like analogies. So
That's
I
funny.
thought like there's certain things in dialogue that are fun that you catch again on the second watch, and that's even why I'm reserving judgment for that finale because they could do something there that really does maybe not tie up all the loose ends, but it's a satisfying resolution to the overall arc of Stranger Things.
What did you
So,
think of? What did you
mhm,
think of when Steve and Dustin had their moment? They had an actual fight, which was pretty cool to see.
mhm,
Um, and then they had that emotional moment where he told him like, you die, I die, kind of thing, which
Mhm.
is terrifying to hear, anyways, because I don't want anybody to die.
yeah,
But
Right.
then, but then he gave Nancy a hug, and as soon as he did it, he's like, "That was weird, right? Yeah, that was weird." So he brought in a little bit of humor, which I don't remember
mhm.
the last time Dustin said anything funny in the show,
Well, I think
Not after
now,
Eddie.
sorry,
Yeah.
go
Oh
because
ahead.
he
no,
had
no. Go
been
ahead.
he had been so intense about all of the
Mhm,
stuff that happened with good
yeah,
reason.
Mhm.
It felt like they brought in that joke just to kind of show, like, okay,
he's getting back to himself, right?
he's getting back to
Yeah.
himself,
Yeah.
hopefully, and usually that happens before people die. But
Oh
whatever.
man, don't
Anybody
say
but
it.
Dustin or Steve. I think that's the big. Well, no, not anybody but Dustin or
Don't you
Steve,
put that on
because
me, Ricky Bobby?
Man, don't do it. Don't do it.
because I know with Lucas, again from a blurred perspective, when Lucas got hit across the chest at the end of season 5, part 1, I was like, they better not, like, just that old trope of the
Oh
black
yeah,
person
Black
dies
person
first. I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose it if it's
big
Lucas.
time.
Of course, not Steve and not Dustin, and I don't think it could be Lucas. And whoo, there's gonna be some blowback if it's Erica. Yeah.
What if
So
it
that
is
would be
Steve? What
be
if it is Steve? Like where? What do we? Because he had his moments in the other
mhm,
season where he's talking about I want a wife, kids, like 5 or 6 kids or whatever. Like damn, he's got the time for all that.
yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
And
yeah,
I think it's kind of building up for that, in a way. But I hope not, man. I really
yeah.
don't.
So I don't. I don't watch trailers. I try to stay off of stuff. But I did see one thing that kind of pissed me off because sometimes I go on the internet, and I guess it's the internet, so I should have known. But there was a talk show, one of these talk shows that the Duffers went to,
Okay.
and they had little pop figures of all the characters.
Hmm.
And I saw a headline. That's all I saw, and then I closed it. Do you want me to tell you what it is or no? It might
Yeah,
it,
I'm
this is
curious.
not a real spoiler. It's
Ah.
not a real spoiler unless it
Is it a
happens.
spoiler?
Well, so
Unless it happens.
is it a theory, or is it something that the Duffers absolutely have revealed, like, will be a part of the finale?
It's a really stupid thing. But if it is a real thing, I'm pissed off that it got kind of. Do you want me to tell
Leaked,
you
I
or no?
guess.
I'm gonna say no. I don't want to. I
Okay.
don't want to
Yes.
know it. Or maybe if we do want to know it, we could talk about it afterwards. Because I
All
don't
right, thank
know
you.
with the
But
audience
again,
that's like
yeah,
listening. Like I don't want it to be too spoilery for people who. Because
we'll
I
okay.
like
So
you. I will avoid
we'll do
interviews. I don't really watch
let's do a
special
recap.
like things. Yeah.
Let's do a recap whenever it's done, and then I'll bring up this
Mhm.
because, like I said,
Okay.
it's a really silly thing that happened, and I
Yeah.
hope that it's
Frank is
not a
saying,
real
"Don't
thing.
tell
But
us.
Yeah, don't
Don't
tell
do
us.
it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll do a
Okay.
recap. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll come
Okay.
back. And so that is another thing. So that was another reason why I was a little annoyed on Christmas because I was thinking, hey, okay, cool. We're going to get it all out. And we'll be able to talk about it, give it a couple days since it dropped on, Christmas Eve or no, Christmas Day. And that Sunday, we can just have conversations. And then I
Yeah.
was like, no, there's still the other finale part. So we can't really give our summation, but we'll definitely come back to it. We'll have episode 1, part 2. Hey, it's just like Stranger Things.
Funny.
Um,
Yeah, we're gonna
but
milk this for all it's worth.
because I do think like it's cool people dropping in and out, and some people like I know like Andrew from Andrew's Gatie's Toys, like he hasn't watched all of it, or I didn't think he watched all of it. Maybe he's watched all of it since earlier today, just so he could come and hop on the conversation. But I think he dropped off too because people wanting to support, celebrate Brandon's birthday, but also not wanting to spoil too
It is
many
pretty
things.
early. It is pretty
Yeah,
early on. I mean,
yeah.
Right.
I have a projector, a nice projector in the basement where I watch it, but my
Mhm.
kids have been sick, so like the last episode I watched it on my iPad, which I don't feel great about, but still I had to do it. So
Yeah, to do
Yeah.
it.
I'll just
Fellas,
have to
be
watch.
right back. I gotta
Yep.
Yeah,
run
go
around.
ahead.
Cool.
Ooh,
Cool. I can pull him off the stage just while we chat. So yeah, no, it's I wanted to give people some time. I know that's why we opened up with the spoiler alert. I should probably just put spoiler alert in the parentheses for the title too, just in case anybody's watching it back. But I think most people know enough to know if anything's coming out watching Stranger Things. Like I had to stay off IG for a little while too, because I would just be scrolling and then somebody would say, "Hey, did you see this?" I'm like, okay, nope. I'm off social media
Yeah.
until I finish watching all of the
When
things.
I go
So
to when I go to the movies, I close my eyes and I close my ears for trailers that I like. Uh Last night, this is not the subject, but last night I watched Marty Supreme at 10:15 at night.
okay.
Are you familiar at all?
I am not familiar. I was just about to Google it and ask you. What? Give me a brief rundown of Marty
It's
Supreme.
so it's an A24
Okay.
published film, which is kind of an indie publishing house, but it's not really
Mhm.
anymore because they release like a lot of movies. but it's Timothy Chalamet is in it, and he did like this really amazing marketing campaign with A24 where he was like the face of everything. He even got on top of the sphere in Vegas, and he's the first person to be on top of the sphere. So he harnessed, and the whole it's about a ping pong tournament.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
but the reason why I like it is because it's directed by one of the Safdie brothers, which used to direct movies together. They directed Good Times with why do I always forget his name? The dude that plays the new Batman, um,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, and then
Okay. Yeah.
also Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Okay.
So they connect. They're both some of my favorite movies together. They split up amicably, and then now they're doing their own thing. I was talking to Quip that I watched Marty
Mhm.
Supreme last night. I don't know if you're
How
familiar,
is
but
that?
it was great. But I
It
feel
was
like
good.
it was funny because Chalamet is such like a strong personality, and he did such a strong marketing campaign that was the first time that I've been to an A24 movie where the room is full of young people.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But I feel like a lot of those people maybe got hoodwinked a little bit because I think they were expecting a different kind of movie.
Uh,
Because the movies that this guy makes are kind of hardcore, but I loved it.
Yeah,
So if
I love
anybody,
him as a director. Now, which brother directed this one?
right? So I was talking to Josh. So no, it was Josh. Yeah, basically the dude with the big beard.
Hmm.
The other brother Benny, he directed the Smashing Machine with The Rock,
Right, right, right.
uh, which was more of a documentary style. It was based on a documentary,
mhm.
but basically, to kind of close the loop, Brandon, if you're familiar with these dudes' movies, they're
Yeah,
high energy, they're nonstop from the beginning to end. So I was curious: is this energy? Which brother is bringing it? And it's definitely Josh, the one that did this one, Marty Supreme, because this movie
hmm,
feels a lot like the other ones.
yeah.
But
Which one had Robert Patterson and he was like with his
Good
brother?
Times,
Good.
Good
He
Times.
was just
It's one
mentioning
Good
of
that.
time.
Yeah.
dude. It's
That
one of my
one's so
favorite.
good.
It's one of my
That
favorite
was
movies. Quip
yeah.
homework for you. Watch
That
it.
one's really
Okay.
really good.
I'll have to
Like
check it out.
that put me on knowing and understanding that Robert Patterson is a really good actor.
Hmm.
I
And
accepted
I
him as
think,
Batman after that
yeah,
movie.
and I think he may have. Don't quote me, but I think he may have reached out to them to work with them.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I think Uncut Gems was written for Adam Sandler to be that
Mm.
character. He was great in it. Yeah,
Mm.
maybe we'll do an episode on that. Quip. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'd
If
like
you're
to
that'd be a good
if you're
do an
episode.
interested.
episode about our top 10 list or something after the new
like
year or something
like
like that.
movies or shows.
Just
Movies, shows, and general figures.
yeah.
Sure.
Obviously, you and me both make figures, so it's like, what have you been collecting?
I
Same with
feel
you,
like a
Quip.
lot of your figures are probably in our top 10.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I know
Dude, I
before
got that
we
I got that Shatter Shredder coming on Tuesday, and I
Oh, the
am
Shadow
psyched.
Shredder.
That's gonna be my first Afubi.
Oh shit! First one.
Yeah, that, and then I have Slash coming next. Whenever that
Slash is
comes out.
awesome.
Whenever that
Yeah.
comes out. Um, are we going back to Stranger, or are we kind of
Oh, so I was gonna read a couple things, wrap up on
Sure.
Stranger
yeah?
Things, and we can even just start to wrap up because we're approaching the 2 hour mark
That's fine.
quick.
Yes, sir. Flew
But I
by.
know, so Brian Brink, just going way back to something that I started where he was saying in the upcoming days of a new Stranger Things drop, I'm always pessimistic and seem tired of the show. But as soon as I start watching again, boom,
Yep.
I'm back in, looking forward to the
Same.
finale next week. I think that's a great summarization. Yes, we needle, we nitpick, we think that they can do some things better here, or even do more of that, less of this. But at the end of the day, it's just enjoying the show for what it is, not what we felt like it should have been, right?
Yep.
Right.
And then you've got Chamba again here, solid season. I too hope they stick the landing. Not a fan of the whole introduction of the Dr. K plot. That's fair. The gang is
Yeah.
already facing so much, and they throw this in. Didn't need it. How are they going to resolve the Dr. K? How's that going to play into the big final battle? That remains to be seen. That's a really good subplot, or a really good point about the subplot. And then I hope the Duffers don't rely on spin-offs to round the stories out fully.
There
Me,
is a lot of talk about spin-offs. There's a lot of talk, which is weird because they're leaving for Paramount.
Hmm.
So I don't know how that works.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I really hope they don't rely too much on
I am
spinoffs, right?
excited about the animated show. That's gonna be tight.
Hmm.
Oh,
Have you
there's
seen
gonna
the
be
Totally.
an
trailer for
anime.
that? You haven't seen
No,
that yet?
no, I haven't seen that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, dude. It's
Okay,
called
I'll check it out. I'll check
it's
it out.
called Tales of Stranger Things, and it's an animated show with the same characters, but they're gonna be voiced by different people, which I guess is interesting.
Hmm.
But it's full on
Okay.
animated, has a very painterly look. So yeah,
Is it
Okay.
3D animated or 2D?
yeah, 3D.
3D. Okay. So
It looks
similar
good,
to. Okay.
and
You
apparently
know what
it's
I want?
coming out soon-ish.
Soonish. We'll
And they
see.
mentioned that they're gonna be quicker with this because they can be quicker.
That's
Mhm.
good. That's good. I feel like a lot of the a lot of the feelings around season 5 is because they've just waited so long. And like you said, you kind of like, wait, okay, it's been so long since I watched season 4. What happened in season 4? What was in
Yeah,
season
yeah,
3?
yeah.
Do I have time to go back and watch all these things before I get back into watching, part 1 and part 2 and then even the finale? There's
Mhm.
only so many hours in the day. So
Yeah.
hopefully they don't rely on the spinoffs. I think that's probably one of the best comments that accomplished everything. Kind of pointed out is complete this story as best you can. If you're going to make spinoffs, spinoffs can be good, but we want a Frasier. We don't want a Joni Loves Chachi, right? We
Yeah. Good
want
point.
because
Good
Frasier
point.
actually was a spinoff of Cheers. Some might argue it was even better than Cheers. It just depends on where your tastes are. But yeah,
Mhm.
but with that, I know we were starting to talk toys, talk other movies. Do you want to talk about some of the projects you've currently got going on, just for the sake? Anything that you can talk about, right? We're not looking to violate any sort of
Oh, well,
NDAs, but any sort of
well,
fun.
I
What's
have
something fun
one
that's coming?
more Stranger Things question though.
Okay,
Just
okay.
one more. What the hell happened to Susie and Dustin?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
relationship? Is that a wrap? Is she ever coming back?
That's
Wow,
probably
that's a
why
great
he's so
question.
pissed off. That's probably why he's so pissed off, dude.
Did they break
I
up?
mean, if we don't get
Yeah,
like another walkie-talkie scene between the two of them,
forgot about
something
that.
like give me something with that relationship. He's the only kind of odd dude out. The college years, fuck.
Yeah, because you had that big moment at the end of season 3 with the
Yeah,
never-ending story,
never-ending
and
story.
that was an awesome scene. And then they did bring her back in 4, right? Where
In
Argyle was even into
four,
the older sister.
right.
Yeah, because
So
they had to like
where is
stop
she?
by and chat with her. So where is she now in all of this? How have they been
Yeah.
cut off
Can she help with their quest right now?
by proxy, like even remotely,
Something.
as she has in the past? Especially, you know what? That's a really good point. Since they're at a radio station, right?
Yeah.
There's some easy way that they could have. Now, mind you, there's all sorts of plot points. I get why they
Yep.
can't explore all of them, but they could have. She was a beloved character, and I do hope that that delightful Derek, makes it through all of this as well. I think he's another standout
Mm,
new character that they've introduced. The Duffers are great at introducing newer characters.
They are, dude,
they
and they
really
get
are.
people to care about
Yeah,
characters
and
within a
like
couple
that.
episodes. Like
Exactly.
Seconds.
Eddie was around for how long?
Whew.
Barb was around for how long? And people still care about Barb.
One
Well,
season.
people care about Barb because that's honestly, I mean, I mentioned it earlier in passing, and I wasn't going to go too much into it, but I still got beef with Nancy because of Barb. I do. I just do.
Oh, bro,
Barb
what
didn't
the
need to be there. Barb wanted to go. Barb cut her hand. Even in that scene, Steve was like, "That's pretty bad. You need to go to the hospital." No,
yeah,
she's fine.
right.
She did
Mm,
Barb dirty. She did.
that is dirty.
And I know
Well,
she didn't know the Demogorgon was going to get her and everything, but even just that whole situation of treating a friend that way
Right on.
was, for as much
well,
as,
and now she shoots everything, so it's probably the guilt. You know.
She's working
yeah,
things out. She's working
Yeah.
things out.
absolutely. Yeah. Barb got done dirty. Bob was a really big part of it, but to have Sean Astin come in, I don't know, like Sean Astin as Bob was really great. And even watching season 2 again, I did get annoyed where it was just like he couldn't have just kept going. Just keep running. You just stop and you're like, "Oh, hey, Joyce." Like, no, get out of there. Make sure
Yeah.
you're gone.
They didn't
But
have the song for that season. They're running up the hill. They could have used it.
Yeah, they need another big song
Yeah, because
yeah.
just to round this out.
they haven't killed anybody in this season, right? They're just waiting for the
No, and
final.
they kept saying they were going to. I think that's some of the disappointment that some people had too as well. Who was going to die? They definitely made it see. They keep thinking like, oh, this person's going to die. No, they didn't die. Oh, maybe this is going to happen. No, that didn't happen. I know. So it's funny that we're just starting to pick up the conversation about Stranger Things again. But you referenced the conversation with Mike and Holly. And that is another component of season one that I was frustrated about because all the things you've gone through in the first four seasons, and then you've got 18 months between the end of season four and the beginning of season five. You have a friend who has telekinetic powers that can go in and out of people's minds. You know that there's been mind flayers and Vecna giving people visions. Your baby sister says she's got an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's fine. Like that
good.
to me, like that they didn't connect the dots until like that. I think that part of the storytelling too, where there was like exposition, where oh wait, you mean that Mr. What's It could be Henry and that could be Vecna? Oh my goodness! And that they had to wake up the mom after being almost cut in two by a Demogorgon because they didn't have the wherewithal to say, Vecna seems to be pretty interested in our circle, and now our youngest sister has an imaginary friend. Our youngest sister is also magically aged to be around 10 instead of like younger as she was. But I digress. Yeah, and then somebody actually pointed out Mike's dad. I really wanted the Duffers are really good about creating complex characters, and I feel like if there's one character that the Duffers have written for you to just not like, it's the dad. Like everybody else seems like they have some sort of redeeming quality if they aren't a clear villain. The dad from a D&D campaign, I don't know, would the dad be chaotic neutral? Um, would he be?
You went full nerd on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Blurred
the
alert.
dad,
Blurred alert.
I wanted the dad to have a moment, right? I wanted him to, hey, like, cool, out of left field, we didn't see this, even if he still gets taken out. I wanted him to like fight for his family, fight to protect his daughter, fight to protect his wife, and then it's like he swung the golf club barely and then got taken out. But then Mrs. Wheeler came in clutch with with the wine bottle, even though she was still taken out, and then her coming to save them. That was pretty cool. That
It's
whole
also
scene also reminded me of Terminator 2, where Linda Hamilton is making her way through the hospital, like her being in the hospital gown and still getting the tank. It was also kind of like a Laurie Strode from Halloween type dynamic of being in a situation where she should be weakened, but she still was able to come through and destroy whatever monster was there. I thought that was cool.
It was very Aliens too,
Yeah,
Ripley, power loader, get away from you, bitch type thing.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
I mean, they're giving a lot of lady power. So, even this last part when she blew up the Demogorgons with,
Yep.
the little
The oxygen tank in the dryer.
oxygen tanks in the dryer. She's had a lot of damn good standout moments for a lady who almost slept with a teenager.
Teenager? Yeah. We just glossed over that part.
It's fine.
But she didn't. But she didn't. It's like,
highly questionable. But I love that scene where all the ladies are all like done up and he's just walking past them and they're all like trying to get their shot. It's hilarious. But you said get away from me, you bitch. I went to New York Comic Con and I saw a panel with why am I forgetting? How could I forget this actress name who's legendary? But
Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver. I saw a panel with her in it, and she said that quote in real life, and I lost my mind.
That's awesome.
I have a video. I have a video of it. I think I posted it on my Instagram. But
dude, I'm
I was gonna take a picture of her with her, like one of those fan photos or whatever. But it was like almost $400. I'm like, I can't flex that.
No, but that is cool. That's a great opportunity for anybody. So Alien is like my wife's favorite movie, like the first one. She's cool with some of the other ones and Prometheus and learning a little more about it, but Alien is her jam.
Can I nerd also the new Alien
the TV show?
No, the movie that came out.
Not Covenant.
Romulus?
Romulus. Yeah,
Mhm.
Romulus was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that movie, and I met the director uh, here in Columbus. I went to a show. It was like a VFX, like not VFX, but like what's it called, Brandon? The people that make masks and stuff, like in real life.
Yeah, like prosthetics and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
that
that.
kind of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I met,
Okay.
I met, I met James Groman there. But
Very
What?
cool.
yeah, dude.
Oh, was it the Mask
Yeah,
Con? Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
So I went there because I wanted to meet him, and we spoke, and it was obviously he's awesome. But
Mhm.
I'm just walking around because I'm about to leave for home, and I end up in this big room, which is where there's a lot of, I guess, actors that were like spread out all around the perimeter of the room,
Mhm.
and there were voice actors and stuff signing autographs. And then I see an empty spot, and it has the director's name on it, which is Fede Alvarez. He's from
Mhm.
Uruguay. And I'm like, yo, what's going on there? Like, was he here? And a
Mhm.
security guy is like, yeah, he was actually here, and not that many people showed up to his table, so he left. And I'm like,
What?
oh, dude. So I'm like kind of
Damn.
pissed off. And then the security guy is like, but he left me this if you wanted. And it's a poster of one of the horror movies that he directed with his writer buddy that was also there. And he like drew all over the back of the poster. So I technically have a poster signed and with drawings from him. So I'm like, okay, that's
Hmm.
cool enough.
That is
And then I
cool.
walk and then I walk the floor, and I'm looking down, and I look up, and he's right there. And I'm like, hey dude. And I think I just rambled like about nothing.
Mhm.
And I asked him for a
As you
picture.
do at a con. I mean, come
Well,
on.
because that was like a
Yeah.
full on, that was like a fanboy, right? Like that was
Yeah.
just like, dude, you made one of the best aliens, in my opinion, outside of Aliens. It's definitely top three.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, those are some nerd moments that I've had, I guess,
Was
by
the
going.
poster for Evil Dead or what was it for?
It was the other one, a smaller
Smaller.
movie. Yeah, it was the second of that movie.
Mm,
I haven't seen it, but his writer was there with him, and he's also from Uruguay, and I guess they tag team a lot of these movies. But
it's great.
I hope they get to make more. We'll see. We're
Yeah.
at the hour and 58, guys.
We are. We
We
are.
we
We're
blurred
about
we
ready to wrap up.
blurred. Yes. Well, to your point,
Mhm.
I want to hear what Sebastian's got going on because
Yeah.
honestly, going to totally nerd out, blurt out on you. You had one of my favorite blurred collectibles that we are still waiting for
Oh,
to see. Since
Yeah.
I knew about you, was definitely the Goofy movie set, which
Yeah.
is at Mondo, which is going to come out. But that is such a blurred collection for me that I need to have in my hands, dude. So what are you working on?
well, yeah. I mean, the Goofy movie, I'm glad that it means a lot to a lot of people. And it's been great to hear about your perspective on the Black community, about how they've embraced that movie and all
Big
of the
time.
different elements that make the community embrace such a thing. Considering like the Goofy movie had no business being that good, bro. You know what I mean? It's like
You're right.
when the Tarzan movie came out and they told Phil Collins like, "All right, just make like a pretty good soundtrack," and then he's like,
Mhm.
"All right, hold my beer." You know, it's that
Yep.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's been a long time in the making. I hope it comes out soon. I know it's gonna be great. I need to make some shelf space because, as you can tell, my Mondo
Yeah.
shelf is getting pretty full. But it's definitely a highlight in my, I guess, young career, if you can call it that. The Monstar stuff is the next thing. I only have so much time in the day, so
Hmm.
basically I haven't posted anything digital because I've been working on the 3D printing, which the Monstars are up there. But
Yes, you can post that.
yeah, dude, I think it's gonna be a ride whenever that set comes out. I'm really excited to see what people think about it. It was really awesome working with the team, with everyone. I know that set has been touched by a couple of guys on Mondo, which is great because it means that it's gonna be the best it can be.
Yep.
And yeah, just like you guys say, Armando, if you support something, if you really like it and you want more, just support it when it comes out.
Support her
Um,
with your dollars. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
touched it.
Yeah.
Alex Brewer touched it. I mean, it's.
um,
I mean, this
Dude,
is a track.
Peter brought it up on a stream with Figure Report. Actually,
Oh, cool.
he brought it up, so I'm allowed to talk about it, I think. But when we went to Comic Con, they mentioned it was being painted, and I was like, "Hey, dude, if you have a picture of it being painted or something like that, could I get it? Just so I can like feel closer to it." And
Hmm.
then he sent me a picture, a couple of pictures, and it was so awesome just to see it like
Nice.
That is cool.
almost there,
Yeah.
almost there, But yeah, I don't know. You got a lot of. What was the last thing you were doing, Brandon? Are you still sculpting turtles?
Am I ever? Yeah, turtles, turtles, street
What is it? You're in
sharks.
the
That that
sewer. You're in the sewer. Is that what
I'm
you?
still. I'm gonna be in the sewer for a while until they throw me out. They'll have to throw
Okay.
down like a little rope ladder for me to crawl out of the sewers. But I like to be there. I'll be.
Hmm. Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Smelly boy.
So yeah, in the sewers with Mondo. They tease a lot during their holiday special, which I was surprised too. I wasn't really on there that long. I was in the front half because they were streaming during the time that my wife had a holiday party that I was obligated to go
Oh,
to. So I
okay.
was like, "Hey, peace,
Yeah,
bye." I had
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go.
that was like a
And
2 hour stream, dude.
yeah, yeah, they're getting longer, right? Like,
Yeah,
geez, but I like it. I love that. Besides Toy Talk,
dude. Before
long
we,
form conversations
I
about what goes on behind the scenes. I love that stuff.
Hmm. What
what
were you
was
about to
it?
say, Sebastian?
Yeah, go ahead.
That Tila was it that Tila render that was in
Hmm.
May that they showed
Hmm.
Yes,
with
yes,
Orko?
yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, the stuff that I see on a daily basis, like a week will go by and we already have like bangers after banger between
Yeah,
Alex, May, Tommy. I mean, I got to keep up to those guys. So like, I'm up constantly.
you're
Like,
running up that hill, dude.
I'm running up that hill,
Yeah.
Kate Bush style. But outside of the
Yeah.
Mondo stuff, I posted work in progress stuff with the Hound for
Oh
Mad
yeah.
That's
Hatter.
right. The Hound of Tarjay. Yeah.
Yeah, Hound of Tarjay. Finishing up a lot of stuff that is going to be a beast, pun intended, once that hits shelves.
I
And
saw I saw a
mhm,
concept with Johnny that got showed today.
yeah,
Johnny's
and
very
Johnny today.
yeah.
That was a birthday gift to myself because we had been cooking up on this concept, Skull Cadet. He and I had been cooking on that thing for maybe a couple, not even a couple years, maybe 2 years, because he works for Jack Pacific, John Newen, Johnny
Oh wow.
Newen.
Okay.
He designed all the Simpsons figures for him, Sonic, all sorts of other figures for Jax. And outside of that, and outside of my work, we developed characters even similar to SWAT Cats. He and I developed those prototypes pretty much just in our free time outside of
Yep.
doing real work for real companies. And
Hmm.
then we were like, hey, we should do our own thing, like our own original characters, own story, screw doing like IP people really recognize. Do shit that's fun for us. And I always tell sculptors who, hit me up and was like, hey, how do you get in? How do you stay fresh? How do you still stay motivated? It's like, hey, you got to do your own projects, like
Yeah.
literally your own project. Make your own character, sketch it out, draw it, take that little seed, water it every single day. Even if you have to take breaks, even if it's a 2 year long project, just see it grow really feels good to me. So
And
that's
you
what
almost
Sculpt Cadet is.
yeah, you almost don't have yeah. I feel like a lot of me developing relationships has been me not knowing any better. I just approach people. I do it
Mhm.
nicely. I do it nicely, and thankfully at this point I have enough work behind me that I can be like, "Hey, this is what I do. Would you
Mhm.
like to work together?" But like me meeting you, me meeting Johnny, it's been all through socials. It's been all through
Yeah,
me like engaging, interacting with work, or asking for advice or different things like that.
of course.
Um, So again, I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited to speak our truths, like you mentioned, Quip, our shared experiences, and also like our unique experiences coming into this
Mhm.
hobby, whether we're makers or collectors or show hosts like Quip. We're all wearing different masks. So yeah, I feel like this is exciting, and then we'll have to figure out what we do next, right? What our next episode
Hell
is.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yep, we got a couple of different concepts out there. Again, for anybody who joined later, wasn't here at the beginning of it, I'm also going to drop a link in the description. Again, shout out to Jay for allowing us to use Geek Dead Live 2, but we are starting a Blurred Alert channel that is at youtube.com/at Blurred Alert. Dropping that link in the chat too for anybody who may not have already subbed, just so we can start, building up our collection over there of different
Like and
visual
subscribe.
components.
Like and
Like, comment,
subscribe.
subscribe. Yeah.
Hit that like button.
Dude, is that hype button real? The hype thing? I've never seen it. Is that
What
real?
hype button? What is a
I've
hype?
seen it.
Oh
There's
shit!
something where you can
Yeah,
hype
yeah.
things, but I don't know what it does when you hype things. I really
I don't
don't.
know
So
either. I
yeah.
always think
Okay.
it costs me money if I hype something. I
Okay.
don't know.
It might.
I don't
It
know.
might.
VPG is saying Fallout review. I haven't watched Fallout, so I should give it a go.
Have
I
you
have to check
seen
it out.
season
Yeah.
one? You haven't seen any.
I haven't
You haven't
seen
seen
Dude,
it at
any
all.
I
of
never
it.
I
No.
never the
Oh
game
man.
came out when I was in college, so I never really played any of the games, and I haven't watched the show, I guess because I don't know, I haven't seen many Prime shows that I've loved.
No, it's really,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
That's homework for you guys. Watch
Okay.
Oh,
Fallout. Both.
Definitely will
I
check it
mean,
out.
the second season just came out, so there are two episodes in. Really worth your while, dude. Like
well, I
it's
guess
it's it's really good.
let's have the chat let us know in the comments if we are good at reviews, right? Is that a thing that we are capable of doing? Was this a review? Was this a breakdown? What
I
was
feel
an
like this was
analysis?
It's a
more of a
review.
conversation. We're still
Yeah.
coalescing. I like the idea of, don't let perfection hold up progress, right? So as we're still figuring out the format, figuring out the flow, understanding even how we all jive as a team, I think all in all, we jive pretty well. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I think we it's just understanding where are the best places for the formatting of how we lay stuff out, right? So like, can we go into detail about the characters then, so it's just like facts, then we share our opinions? I don't know, all sorts of things. I'm open to it, but what I'm most excited about is we just did this, right? We're getting it started. That's the
Yeah,
hardest part, is getting started, and then the next hardest part is remaining consistent. So,
yep.
in line with Stranger Things Part 5, stay tuned for episode 2, which will be coming out in 3 years. Um,
3 years.
We'll be older.
Good Lord, I'll have
we'll all be
man,
much older, right? And yeah, no.
Brandon Gash the Gray will be here.
Oh, dude, mine is
Nice little
already
salt
starting.
talk.
Mine is getting bad.
Oh, I
Yeah,
got it. You don't
I,
see it because of the
yeah.
lighting, but I got it.
I've had gray hair since I was like 9 years old, second grade. Wait, nine? No,
No,
eight in second grade. Yeah.
no.
Where I have a big old patch of gray hair whenever I do grow it out. I usually keep it pretty short so you can't see it, but it's starting to come in the beard and everything. Well, the chin nonsense. I can't really grow a glorious beard like you two. I've tried it and
Ah,
it's bad. It's
it's
patchy.
all
It's like,
it's
yeah.
all patchy around here, man. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
call it a summer beard because summer here, summer there, summer. It's
That's
really
Some of
bad.
there, I like that.
that's
Now, before we go, can I say something about some of the birthday gifts I got
no.
today?
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
Share.
okay.
You got some
Cool.
hauls. Or Sebastian, if you want to share anything you got for Christmas, I got
Yeah.
my Christmas pile over here too. That's fun. We
If you
can
guys
close
want
out with
to, I
hauls.
mean, this is my birthday episode. This is the debut. So please
Yeah.
share your toys, share your figures. I want to see what you guys got for the holidays because honestly, we both connected, or we all connected on our love for figures, collecting, all of that. So I'd be remiss to bring it up.
Absolutely. Hold on.
I have to
Oh,
show you
okay.
something that was on sale that I didn't get comp to me, but I really wanted. And this kind of ties back to our first podcast together with Brick Something.
Yeah.
And Rick brought up the RZA as one of those
Okay.
figures that he was like, oh man, like you sculpted that, but like that was a figure I always wanted. And God dog it if I did not get Bobby Digital.
Ooh, hold on. Let me play with these settings
Nice.
because Jay always does this, and I
Yeah.
don't know how. No,
Oh,
that's me. I don't want it to be me.
you do look good though. Oh no.
How's Vecna?
How do
Oh shit. Oh,
I?
where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Hold on. Let
Okay.
me try and make you big. See, this is. Hey,
There we
there
go.
we go. Okay. All
All
right.
right.
That's sick, dude.
So yes, I sculpted the RZA Bobby Digital for Super 7 like 2 years ago. He came out maybe this year. And man, I didn't get comp this, but I always wanted him in package. So I just
That's
waited
dope.
until he got on deep discount on Amazon
Okay.
and gifted it to myself
It's
for
a
my
gift
birthday.
from me to me.
Yeah, to me,
That's great.
And another thing that came in the mail that I wasn't
Okay.
expecting
Blow you up
till
again.
yesterday. Oh crap! This guy's heavy. Give me a
Oh,
second.
he's beefy.
What is it, dude?
Get all the wrapping off. Ugh.
Oh, I know what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was that.
Oh, yo.
Dude,
Okay.
that box is amazing.
Yeah,
the
that's dope.
packaging for
Yep.
this mantis alien. I mean, I can't even hold it. Ugh.
Yep.
Check this guy out, man.
That's good.
I may have to get that at some point.
Groman designed. I sculpted.
Dude, I
Hector
gotta
and
get
Groman
that
painted on
Demogorgon
this.
by Grumman.
Oh yeah, that one's a classic. That one's
I think I wanna get the one with the crazy colors, that colorway.
yeah, the kind of like neon colored one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a
Um,
classic.
That's cool.
those are some good pickups, dude.
Absolutely.
It just happened that I got shipped at Sentinel. So
Oh shit,
I got
nice.
my son obviously his own toys that he asked for and that he asked for Santa. Like he asked Santa. But I was just like I told my wife, I'm like, the Sentinel is here. I might as well just like give it to him and be like what it's see what he thinks. So that was kind of like his extra gift. Obviously we both play with it together. But he's 4.5, so he gets to hold it like it's a baby. It's really funny. But with my wife, I got these guys.
Okay, I'll make you big. Hey, we were talking about it
Oh
earlier. There's definitely going to
yes,
be an episode.
Look at
You
that
got Lizzie
sticker, dude.
McGuire stickers
Lizzie
too.
McGuire. Isn't that amazing?
is
Yeah.
that the VHS? The shell clam?
Yeah.
Oh, shell, dude.
Look at that.
Clam shell.
Look how great that is.
Nice.
And also, like, I want to make a figure of that guy.
Bigfoot. Yeah, that'll be
I
good.
got that, and I got this, which I do. I don't know how big this movie is, like compared to the Goofy movie, but I do love this movie because the X-Men hit just when I was watching that kind of stuff when I was younger. So I got these two. I think she got me a box lunch jacket with Max and Roxanne as well, which was brought up in the Discord. That is something that I should own. So yeah, we're fully leaning into this Goofy thing. Like
That's awesome.
Yes.
it's everywhere. It's everywhere at
I
this
love
point. But yeah, it was a good Christmas, dude.
That's
Like I
awesome.
mentioned, there's some
Okay.
sickness around, but hopefully we'll get rid of that. And then I look forward to having a slower 2026 than 2025.
More
I
even
don't
keeled. Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna pan out, but we'll see.
Okay. I will go through my hauls real quick. So I got watching One Piece with the baby girl. She got me
Oh,
Nami. I've got
Nice.
Roronoa Zoro on the way
Wow.
too from my little bro. So I'm excited about that. That should be arriving shortly. Another thing that I got from the fam is the Men in Black 4 movie collection. Excited about that. Gonna
Very
watch them
cool.
all with baby girl as well. And very appropriate for a blurred alert perspective, I got look at this guy.
No,
boy.
you didn't. No, you
Growing
didn't.
Up Urkel, a memoir of
Oh
Jaleel
my.
White. This is another component, a shared experience of any young black boy who grew up in the 90s and wore
Yes.
glasses
Yep.
was compared to this dude right here. And so,
Curveball all day.
yes.
And that, I mean, going back to how we connected to Quip was we were little black boys with glasses. I had Coke bottles.
Yep.
I don't know if you had the Coke bottles. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I had. They were thick. They were birth control glasses because
Birth
the
control.
girls didn't want to come anywhere near you.
Dude, I cried when I got prescribed glasses, and I think I was like 7 or 8, and I was like, "But I'm gonna be ugly," you know. It was so bad.
There are some cool photos in here too that I'm not showing too much, but yeah, like this is just kind of the inside cover where it's just cool. And so I'm excited to learn more about the OG BLERD.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You put me on something that I now need on the shelf. I need something like that on the
You
shelf.
need it, man. And as Gatey's Toys, as Andrew just pointed out, yep, physical media is making a comeback. We are building up our collection. I'm so tired of subscribing to things. It's just, the whole mindset of you'll own nothing and like it. I'm not with it. So, I don't want to hoard things, but it is nice to have books, like physical books. I have my little section over there. And then 2, physical Blu-rays that we can just pop in, watch. There's no ads, there's no subscription. We can just enjoy it as a family, uninterrupted. Yeah. Oh, another thing that I got. So it's not up here, but I think I shared it in the Discord, in the Geek Dad Life Discord, was Meteor Man. So Meteor Man,
you got the DVD?
The Blu-ray just dropped again on Amazon. Like they're reprinting the Blu-ray. So if you're interested in picking up Meteor Man, the OG original black superhero, Marvel superhero movie, before Blade, before Black Panther, Meteor Man, Jefferson Reed, takes place in the Washington, D.C. area. Just a great story. Watched that with my daughter. Asked her what she thought. She was like, Dad, 9 out of 10. Like, we kind of joked about some of the graphics and things that were in there, but just such an awesome movie that I love being able to share with my daughter now. And before this re-release on Amazon, DVDs and Blu-rays, like I feel like the last printing was in like 2016. They were going for like $100. It's crazy. A movie from 1993, like just the Blu-rays and the DVDs were so limited, they were going for around and north of $100. But to be able to own that at a reasonable price, to have that and to share that and pass it on, and yes, accomplish everything. Shout out, he's another one of the real ones that, like, as soon as I shared, he was like, "Yo, like that's awesome." You cannot go wrong with Robert Townsend. So we got to do 5 Heartbeats, Hollywood Shuffle, the TV show Parenthood. We can talk about Zarya, and
you could talk about him being in The Bear. I mean, recently.
Absolutely.
He was in the recent seasons of The Bear as forgot her name, but the other chef, the other head chef.
The Ayo Edeberry, like her character.
Yeah. That's her dad.
Her dad? Yeah. I didn't know that. So we haven't watched.
Yeah.
The Bear is one of those shows where it's like, I watch TV to kind of unwind, and it's so high stress. Like there were a couple episodes that my wife and I watched that it's like, I feel stressed watching this, but hey, if there's an episode with Robert Townsend, I'd be interested to see it because he is a goat. Like he is.
Yes, can I show you one last thing? So I did that piece with Monkey Mouth, who's an awesome artist. If you guys don't know him, follow him on Instagram. But this one's gonna be hard to show because it's like a wide aspect ratio. But I got a print from him.
I'll try and make you bigger. We'll see how we can fit it.
Let's see. Come on, wingspan.
You gotta want it. Okay, we can see it. It's the Technodrome, the Turtles print. That is awesome. And then you've got Shredder. That's like a Stranger Things turtle, like almost like with the red and the black, and then the big bad in the lightning cloud. That's really cool.
Good luck framing that, dude. Right?
No, I'm saying this now, Mondo. If we don't get that made in photography with figures. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah,
We got to get that. Oh, that's
that
so
is going
sick.
to be awesome.
I'm pretty sure I bent that print a little bit while trying to show it, but it
Oh
was worth it.
no.
It was worth
Hopefully
it.
you can
That was
iron it
awesome.
out and clean it
It
up a
was
little bit.
worth it. But
Yeah, and then
oh,
of course, my big Christmas present, which was another thing that kind of just brought us all together on Brick's stream, was the Donatello, the Mondo Donatello. It hasn't arrived yet, and it's
Right.
funny because the whole
well, it's gonna
time
be a while, dude.
I know it's gonna be September, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and because even as we were like all opening presents, and my wife got, well, first of all, I told my wife I didn't need anything else, but then she still got me like small things here and there. Um, but she was still like, as we're all opening presents, like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was like, "Look, I'm a grown man. I can delay satisfaction. So one, I enjoy giving the gifts on Christmas Day, but just when that toy comes in September, and hey, we had talked about doing an opening together, Sebastian, and
Yeah.
posing it and figuring
Yeah.
out like what sort of loadout we're gonna do. Yeah, I
Well, I
just
guess we can do it on this channel at this point,
Well,
exactly.
right?
We
you
can we
don't have to
can
go anywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's I'm excited about that toy, and that being one of the biggest blurred moments of this year. I understand it was a whole team working on Donatello to really bring it to life, but it's cool now having the stream and having the stream with you, Sebastian, and the cool stuff you're doing with Space Jam, but having the stream with you, Brandon, and us talking about Ninja Turtles and being able to, like, I'm excited to have a Ninja Turtles episode where we really nerd out about it. But yeah, it's just it's
This
cool. It's
day
a
in
great figure.
history,
Yeah.
this day in history, the first episode of the animated series premiered on my birthday. So, I mean, we're deep into it. We haven't even
If
scratched
that's
the
not full
surface.
circle, yeah, if that's not full circle, I don't know what is.
Yeah, yeah. So
Absolutely.
we're definitely going to do a TMNT episodes, man, because I
There's gonna be
got the
episodes, yeah.
release of all the movies, the
Okay.
remastered
Yeah.
box set coming. So I can't wait to put that on the projector and just watch it. I love those movies, man. Just love TMNT in general.
I
So
went to the
definitely,
movies to watch the 1990 re-release, and it was awesome.
same.
Yeah. And then I'm even excited to, as we talked about different concepts for things that we'll explore on the show, black coded cartoon characters, right?
Hmm.
Where we talk like Arthur Aardvark from Arthur, you've got Rolf from the Muppets, Panthro, but one of them is that we are definitely going to have a conversation on is the Mutant Mayhem. I don't think the Turtles had ever been that black coded in because they're teens from New York, right?
Hmm.
But for some odd reason, they have California surfer accents in like your
Right.
87 and your 90s. But the newest iteration from the 2020s of Mutant Mayhem, they leaned heavy into it. They were talking about, hey, yo, Ock, let me get a bacon, egg, and cheese with the
Yes.
Bev. And
Yes.
so it's like that is very
Those
uh,
are my younger cousins in turtle form.
exactly. We've all got cousins
And I
from New
love
York,
it.
and that is exactly how they talk.
Dude, I
So
love
Yeah.
that movie. The only part
Did
that
you
was
guys by
weird
chance
was
see the short that was
I
out in
haven't.
front
I
of?
haven't yet. I can't
You haven't seen it?
watch SpongeBob. I'm not gonna do it. Annie Up was in the movie. Yeah, so all the music of Annie Up. You had Can I Kick It by A
Yep.
Tribe
Yep.
Called Quest. You had I Know by Plug One, Plug Two. Why am I?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, it's bugging me. They sing Me, Myself, and I. Why am I spacing on this rap group's
Oh,
name?
Tribe Called Quest.
No,
Q-Tip or
no, no, no,
Q.
no. It's not Tribe Called Quest. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Like, I
Oh,
know there's three. Oh, hold
do
on.
it. Get on there. Not most Def.
My son got to watch Into the
Mhm.
Spider-Verse today for the first time, and that is
Oh,
Nice.
how was that
oh my.
experience, man?
Well, it was very mellow for him because for him, sadly, it's just like another movie that he gets to watch. But he was happy
De
about
La
watching
Soul.
it.
Yeah.
I skipped a couple of the death scenes, right? Like I just moved past them. But that's another movie that we could maybe talk about because that's
Hmm.
another movie like Stranger Things that woke up something creatively inside of me and it hasn't gone to sleep yet. That movie is just art all the way through. The music, I listen to the music when I take the kids to daycare
Yeah.
all the time because I canceled Spotify. So all I have now is like the one album that I own on my iTunes, and is the album from that movie that I bought the night it came out.
There you go. That's awesome. We're
What's up,
talking about
Gabe?
getting my daughter a CD player and CDs just to play, so it's not just streaming all the time, so that artists can get paid for it because they really are shorted um, from just streaming services. So yeah, but that's cool.
All
That's
right.
that's awesome that you're able to share Into the Spider Verse. I know that's another one of the favorite albums that my daughter listens to as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Is
right,
that it?
fellas. Are we wrapping?
I think we're
We're wrapped.
wrapping. I know we're
All
now
right.
we're almost pushing 2.5 hours.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
gonna get to
long now.
chop and screw it.
Dude, we're
You
doing
know,
Mad Hatter nostalgia numbers right now. This is like
Yeah, right.
almost the 3 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but it's fun. Again, appreciate everybody who did join us on the inaugural voyage setting sail with Blurred Alert. More to come. Stay tuned. Subscribe to YouTube slash at Blurred Alert. And yeah, we'll just keep you posted. Also, we're on IG at Blurred Alert as well. I'll need to start picking up that social media, just kind of sharing things, chopping and screwing this, sharing some shorts. But yeah, see, people, it's good to just kind of put us on in the background to listen to. But again, thank you for taking your time. Brandon, Sebastian, thank you for
Yes.
being willing to work on this together. It's going to be great. I'm excited for this and
And
more to
thank
come.
all of you for the birthday wishes. Seriously, that from the bottom of my heart, top of it, all around of it. Thank you. Thank you. That means so much to me. Seriously.
Absolutely.
And thank you both for being here on this pod with me. Setting sail, like you said there, Quip, for something that we're trying to put together for the future, man. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. Sebastian, any last thoughts you'd like to share?
No, you guys are the bomb. I'm gonna use the word bomb, so I don't say the other word. That's cursing. But yeah, dude, I'm just happy to be here. I told my wife, dude, the fact that I get to hang out with people that I respect, and that I also get to I respect, I like, we have things in common. We look at things very differently, but also very similarly. And I think that's what this whole thing is about. It's about us talking about things that we have in common and things that we may not have in common, and how we find that, I want to say common one more time, but the common thread between those things. So yeah, dude. Just stay tuned. We'll, like Quip said, we'll figure it out. We'll fine tune this thing, and we'll talk. Just toys, movies, whatever it is that we're feeling like talking that week. So thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, stay tuned.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Well, with that, we're gonna outro. Brandon, hit us with a freestyle rap to my
Oh, God,
beatboxing
no.
of Stranger Things.
God. What
Oh, that's
the?
not
Nope.
bad. I love it. Okay.
No, that was good. I can't do half as good as that. So you might as well cut this shit off.
Yo,
That's
Quip, next time you go to Target and you listen to an electric car turn on, it sounds just like the theme song of Stranger Things. I don't know why. It's weird.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Well, with that, y'all have a happy new year. We'll see you in 2026. Thanks for hanging, and thank you
Laters.
to the Playback crew as well. Take it easy.
Peace.
And we're out.